They didn't torture them. They kill them.
Really?
Yeah.
Just straight kill them?
Even if you make a joke.
Wow.
If you make a joke and you mention Saddam name, that's it, done. So they tell us, don't go close to him, don't shake his hands, nothing. I want to fly smooth. I don't want to do anything wrong. Walk in. Good morning, sir. How are you? Good, done. His eyes like sparkling. Before he walked out, he came to the cockpit and he put his hand on my shoulders. He said, guys, did you see something? Without any thinking, or struggling at him. No, sir. That's good. He ordered his security, get him here, cut his tongue.
Cut it off?
Yeah, so he took it with the pliers. Take it out. They cut 20 minutes, half hour, not even that time. I was by myself. 2 cars, Ministry of Interior. I hear ton of bullets to my house, just across the street.
Welcome to Mic Drop, the podcast where relevancy is irrelevant and we don't give a shit about your feelings.
Ladies and gentlemen, as always, it's both an honor and a pleasure to welcome my next guest to the podcast. He spent 32 years in the Iraqi Air Force. He was the original Iraqi Maverick. He's the author of Flying the Tyrant, and he's flown more hours than I've been alive. And I will say, if there's anyone who warrants putting a "my boss is an asshole" bumper sticker on his car, it's this guy. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage Mohammed Sulaiman and the co-author Lauren Ungeldi. Thank you for coming, both of you guys. I've been excited for a long time, actually since I first heard about you guys working on this book together, to be able to sit here with the three of us and talk about this book, because it's one of the most fascinating stories that I've come across in a long time, and certainly since I've been doing this show. I can't thank you guys enough, one, for doing the project, and two, for carving out the time to come on here and allowing me to be the first to interview you guys. So thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you got it.
Thank you to you to have us here. Thank you.
The first question, I like to kind of get into a little bit of a lightning round. What's the strangest thing that you find that's normal here in America?
Well, actually, nothing here is strange.
Nothing strange?
Nothing strange. Like a safe country. I love all the people here.
Yeah. Are you just
it's
saying that?
More freedom here. It's more freedom. So nothing
so that's
strange,
right?
Nothing.
Maybe the freedom is strange?
No.
No.
Absolutely no.
Yeah.
Sometimes if it's go over, that's mean against the person. Yeah.
What's the last full book that you've read?
Actually, it's
your book.
My
All right.
book,
Other than your book, what's somebody else's book? What's the last book that you read?
Well, actually, I don't have time for that. Actually, for reading books, but because I follow social media a lot.
Yeah.
So most of them I read reports for, especially about politics.
Yeah.
Around the world, what happened, what's going on.
Yeah.
Especially through Ukraine situation.
Do you have a favorite childhood memory?
A lot I have.
What comes to mind first?
Back in the days,
being a kid?
Yeah, when I was my dad take me to the airplane, let me sit in the cockpit.
Oh yeah.
That's the most
that stands
moment.
out.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the smell, even the cockpit smell different because paint, some of oil, some stuff like that, or seats from leather. So it smell like something different. So I love that smell.
Yeah. I'm curious. I mean, from reading, through the first couple chapters of the book, the kind of the imprint that your father had on what you did, what your brothers did, being a pilot. Was there ever any question as to whether or not that was the case, or from your earliest memories of thinking about what you were going to do once you grew up? Was it always being a pilot?
Well, since I grew up, it's my dream to be a pilot.
Yeah.
As my father. Then my oldest brother joined the Air Force. So give me more, force to follow.
But you never thought you wanted to be a pro soccer player or a politician, nothing?
Never. As soon as I finished high school, straight ahead to the hospital for checking, that's for when you apply for the Iraqi. I mean, to be a pilot.
Yeah.
Special checkup. They do a lot of tests, health tests.
Yeah. I'm going to take a quick break. I do want to let you guys know the way that you can support the show is to support our sponsors. I know some people don't like to hear ads, but that's how I do what I do for a living. So any support you can show for our gracious sponsors is much appreciated. And again, it does support the show. So thank you. What are the two key components for canine success? That's effective training and proper nutrition. Fueled by Team Dog brings those two components to your family and best friend. The perfect nutritional balance that results in a higher mental acuity, energy, overall vitality, and even an improved appearance. Every product you will find in my company's store was born from the battlefield and not from the boardroom. Let my life's work help you become your dog's hero. What is your daily morning routine here in the United States on an average day when you're at home?
Well, actually, I'm a military man, so I wake up every day like maybe 5:30. I'm up completely. When I wake up, like full of energy. So drink my coffee, then work out.
What does the workout look like?
Like I have like treadmill, some weight. Then at the same time, I'm watching the news.
Yeah.
Like treadmill, then news.
What news do you watch?
CBS News. I like it.
News?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. It's my favorite channel.
Yeah. What is it about CBS that makes it your favorite? I would have thought it would be like, an international news source.
I also CNN.
Yeah.
But
you consider that an international news source?
yeah. But CBS,
I was thinking like BBC, NPR, Al Jazeera, something like that, but
never.
Never? No. So I'm curious, I'd like for Lauren to jump in here. How did this project, before we kind of get into some of you growing up and stuff, how are we sitting here essentially? How did all this happen?
So that's kind of an interesting story. We get asked this a lot. People look at me, I am an author, but how did I come to know, Saddam Hussein's pilot? And actually, it's an interesting story, and you're involved in the story, Mike.
That sounds dangerous.
Uh-oh. So this is a connection between Hammadi Jassim, who wrote The Terrorist Whisperer, who's also a guest on your show, and Jeff Morris, who wrote Legion Rising along with me. I was the co-author on that, my very first book. And those two guys, as it turns out, and there was a connection made through a military reporter where they discovered this, these two guys were in Haifa Street together. Jeff was involved in actually saving Hammadi Jassim's life. I think he was just a young teenager at the time, local Iraqi. And so they didn't, you have your headgear on, you're in the middle of the things, you don't exchange phone numbers, you're not seeing each other's faces clearly. And so it wasn't until a couple of years later in the States that these guys realized, like, holy shit, we were there together. This guy saved my life. And so that friendship, I got to know Hammadi through there. And then one day I just get an Instagram message that says, Lauren, I have your next book project. And I was like, all right, well, that's bold.
Yeah.
Okay, who is it? And he says, how about, the former pilot of Saddam Hussein? And I thought, all right, well, that's a story.
Yeah.
And what fascinates me about it is we've heard a lot of the American perspective, right, of that period of time. Mm-hmm. But now we're getting to get a little peek behind the curtain. We're getting to flip the tables a little bit, and we are seeing it from a different perspective. And so I set up a phone call with this handsome gentleman right here. And we spoke on the phone, and immediately our connection was great. He's so positive. He has this surrender to life that just makes him happy, kind, easygoing. So we had a hell of a time. It was great. And he told me stories, always threw in a few jokes in there. So yeah, it was good time.
Was there a part of you that thought, like, wait a minute, this is either too easy, too good to be true, it's a trap? Like, I mean,
Sure.
for me, now granted, my perspective is maybe a little different in terms of being probably more paranoid than most people that way, but that would be my first thing and be like, wait a minute, like, is this legit?
Sure. Yeah, of course. There's that time in which you're thinking, like, is this person as they say? What I have to vet my own vetting process that I go through. And then a little bit of, part of this story is him escaping, assassination attempt. And just considering, is everything safe? But there's been enough time go by that safety is not an issue. And then immediately when I began to talk with him, and he's sending me, dozens of photos, I'm seeing all of the evidence, the flight logs, the everything. I mean, he's the guy.
Yeah.
He's really the guy.
Yeah.
And then it just kicked off a wonderful process of us working together. And so, Yeah, I mean, there's that thought, but after the due diligence, it became really abundantly clear.
Yeah. And so from your perspective, Mohammed, what did you kind of decide that you wanted to write a book? Was it presented to you as an option? How from your perspective, did everything kind of transpire?
Yeah, actually, I have idea like about to write my memories, like while I'm serving in the Air Force and the VIP squadron. From time to time, like I try, but I don't have a time. Sometimes I tell my kids about the stories. At least they're gonna remember it, like in the future.
Yeah. Well, if you don't have time to read a book, you probably don't have time to write a book, right?
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So until Lauren called me about to write a book, so I was like struggling at that time. I called my friend. So one of them, she told me like, "Why? Go ahead, please. This is your time. This is your opportunity. So you have to do something." I thought, okay then.
Yeah.
Because I'm scared, like because I have my father over there and my brother and my sisters back home there. Something happened to them.
Sure.
Maybe because of the book. So that's I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
But, I have to do something.
Yeah. Yeah. No, so, I don't blame you. That would be a difficult decision, but
yeah.
All right. So growing up there, where did you actually grow up? What town?
Yeah, actually, I born in Mosul first, like just for like maybe 6 months. Then my father moved to Habbaniya.
Yeah.
He was like in Habbaniya Air Base, but he moved for certain things. I don't know why I was like a kid. I don't know. I don't remember that. So I grew up in Habbaniya Air Base. They call it Tammuz Air Base. From 1963 till 1976, you moved to Baghdad, but all the time inside the air base there.
And do you have a perspective for what it was like growing up as a child on a military base versus everybody else, the kids that weren't on military bases? Like, were you friends with any of those kids, and did you kind of intermingle with the civilian populace that way?
Yeah, actually, I live like with my father, like on a special site for just for the pilots or officers. Mm-hmm. So have friends also the same my age. Two of them they get a pilot. Yeah. So also like the father's pilots, so kids follow the fathers. That's why.
Was that for from a society or culture standpoint in Iraq, was that pretty typical that most kids wanted to do what their fathers did?
That's
So
like
no matter
doctor,
what?
go as a doctor. Like engineer, get an engineer. Pilot, the most pilot. But pilot, it's very hard to get it because you follow like certain rules, like for medical test, checkup. That's exam. That's different.
Yeah.
If you're unfit for this to be a pilot, so you don't have a choice.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. What about for more middle class or even blue collar jobs? Like if kids' dads were mechanics or, infrastructure workers, electricians, things like that. Would that same thing apply where pretty much all kids just wanted to do what their dads did?
Yeah, the most like, when they open them eyes, like they saw like his father or her father, like he's doing like certain job. So he tried to be the same, but most of that's the most. But sometimes, the dad maybe he want them like to get like be engineers or doctors.
Right. Yeah. But so you've got two brothers, all want to be pilots together. Was there competition between you guys as to who could become a pilot the fastest? Who was going to be the best? Were you guys competitive, brother to brother?
We actually know, but when we sit together, we talk about.
Now you talk shit to each
other. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But my oldest brother actually, like he get killed, like by aircraft, like crash aircraft. That was in 1984. Like after I graduate 6 months.
Yeah.
That's hard.
Yeah.
So I don't have time to talk to him. Like.
Sure.
Yeah.
I guess going a few steps back to still during childhood, you played some sports growing up.
Yeah.
but they were more of just a hobby. That wasn't what you wanted to do. If you could just kind of describe what it was like growing up at that time in Iraq, like looking back on it, what was important, the things that kind of stood out as being memorable.
Yeah, I remember like when I grew up in a Habbaniya Air Base, like go for hunting with a BB gun. I love it.
Yeah.
And swimming all day, all summer, like go to like to the pool from maybe 9 o'clock till sunset.
Wow.
Yeah, so all like tan, like completely. Yeah. And later on, like when we moved to Baghdad, I started doing sports. So I used to swimming in Iraqi Air Force, like competitions, and that's during my service. And I started in the college doing a sport as a pole vault, they call it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Can you imagine this guy pole vaulting?
I can.
Yeah, it's my number. Like I was like number one in whole Iraqi army, and second in whole country. My record was 4 meters and 35 centimeters.
Really?
Yeah.
Was there any desire, hope, or kind of path that may have led to trying to go to the Olympics to represent Iraq?
No, actually, because like I start like moving to the VIP. I don't have a time for that actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also like carpenter.
Yeah.
Like
You know what I can appreciate? There's been already several times that you said, "Yeah, I don't have time for that, so I don't do it."
yes, yeah, because you know sometimes like when like you go for mission outside the country, like with the ministers or like with delegation, I stay with them sometimes 5 days, especially with Yasser Arafat. I stay with them 20 days.
Yeah.
So,
But no, I mean, I don't say that jokingly.
Yeah.
Most people, I think, say yes to too many things and end up half-assing all of them. So I can appreciate dedication and focus to what you're truly interested in, saying, no, I don't have time, I'm going to focus on this. I think it's great. I am curious, like from a society standpoint, you've been in America now here for a period of time. You have children here and grandchildren, correct?
Yes.
Looking back at your time growing up in Iraq, I'm really curious, like state TV and what you guys knew about the rest of the world and what you were told, what type of television or news was allowed for you guys to kind of ingest and learn. Like, what was your perspective growing up of the rest of the world and kind of where Iraq sat in it?
That was in Iraq, right?
Growing up.
So yeah, Iraq is just, we have like 2 channels. So we're not allowed to get like a satellite dish or something like that. No. So just 2 channels, that's it. But I have like on the side, nobody knows about it. I have dish like satellite. I used to like watching all the news, like what happened, the war.
Yeah. What was your perspective on the rest of the world as a child? Like, did you know about America and Russia and China in terms of what roles they played or not, or their interest in the region and things of that nature?
Yes, actually, I all the time, like I follow the news between, sometimes tension between United States and Russia, see what's going on. Like I try to figure out what's going on. China with other countries, like why they fighting, because why? That's
even as a kid.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Was that common for kids growing up in Iraq, or were you kind of different that way? Like, did most kids as they were growing up show an interest in politics and foreign countries and foreign affairs?
Yeah, actually, Iraqi like never get stable since 1958.
Yeah.
After they kill the king.
Yeah.
So it never gets stable. So even my dad, like, all the time watching the news. So I try to see what's going on, like revolution after revolution. Like every 4 or 5 years, they have something happen in the government in Iraq or the president different.
Yeah.
Revolution, killing, unstable situation. So I have to like look what happened.
Yeah.
Follow it like. Yeah.
And kind of in that same vein, what did you think as a child and into your teen years before you joined the Air Force? Like, what were your thoughts on Syria, on Jordan, on Israel and Palestine, Iran, like did you have strong opinions of all of the kind of contiguous bordering countries and what role they played, or did you not pay much attention, or how did that?
Yeah, actually, in that time, they teach us, like in school, what happened exactly. They tell us all the time what happened to Palestine with Israel, what happened to Syria. Like they tell us about the situation,
Yeah.
even if we didn't hear it like by news. So still, we learn it in school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was there, whether it's, again, Turkey, Iran, Syria, Jordan, any of those surrounding countries, were any of them other than Iran kind of taught to you guys as being, a possible conflict, or did you look at any of your neighbors as an Iraqi as potentially threatening other than Iran, or was it pretty specific to just Iran?
Specific to just Iran, actually. Yeah.
Would you say the relationship between, at least again from your perspective as a child growing up, that all of the other countries were friendly?
Yeah, all of the other countries friendly beside Syria, since I think 1979, I think, or 1977, I think, they get tension between, 1979.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get the problem with Syria.
Was there a feeling of kind of almost being scared or threatened that something was going to happen? Were you guys under constant worry with Syria and Iran?
Yeah.
What about the Palestine and Israel situation? Like, was that something that was a big deal to you guys growing up? Like, was that something that you were upset about?
As I told you, they teach us in the school, what happened exactly. And sometimes they all the time, is not sometimes, beside the Palestinian people.
Yeah.
They blame everything on Israeli
Yeah.
side. But I was like a little kid. We
Yeah.
didn't know what happened. After I grow up, I see completely different the situation.
Yeah.
So,
Well, there's
they teach us
three sides to
Yeah,
every
they
story,
lying
right?
for us.
Yeah. There's the one each person's side, and then what actually happened. Right?
Yeah. Blame the other side.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
that
Yeah, I mean, it's the same way here in the United States. Let's be honest, right? It's that way everywhere.
everywhere
really.
we go.
Yeah. What was your favorite food growing up, and what were the types of foods that you ate?
Actually, my mom food, she has she doing a lot of things like biryani also, and the most you call it, it's like meatloaf, but they call it rog mussel. That's or kubba.
One of your favorites?
Yeah, that's my favorite.
Do you still eat it?
I still eat it. I still made it number one. I made
Yeah.
it. Even my kids a week ago.
Yeah.
My youngest daughter, she told me, "Dad, you've been a long time. We didn't do it for us like a rog."
Yeah.
I like it. I told me, okay, when I come back.
Is it with beef in it, or is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From an infrastructure standpoint, growing up, I'm curious the difference between, pre-first Gulf War and once, I guess even maybe backing it up to when the Iran-Iraq War happened, like power and water and basic infrastructure stuff, was that pretty dependable, or would you lose power and water, and was it shifty the same way it was once we came in?
During?
Yeah, like when you were growing up, was it normal to lose power and?
No, actually, when I grew up, I was a little kid, nothing there, everything perfect, until we get war with Iran.
Then everything.
Yeah, because they had couple power supplies.
Yeah.
They're like a station, so we get losing power. So that's I start
That's
notice
when it
that
started.
but before nothing.
Yeah. So when the Iran War started, you were late teens, early 20s?
Yeah.
And can you kind of explain what that was like for you?
Yeah, that was actually first airstrike was from Iran, was on 1980, exactly on September 22nd. It was hot in Iraq, so I was sitting we used to sleep at the top the roof, like, but it's surrounding. They call it satah, top of the roof. So it was like early morning, around 5 o'clock in the morning. I saw like 3 aircraft. It was Phantom, yeah. So just pass over the house, and the other one goes the other side. So one of them get hit with the rocket trailer. So he released the bombs. So it's on like houses. So that's the first time I see like real war.
Yeah.
That was in September 22nd, 1980. But like I never stopped, like, I still my dream, like to be a pilot.
Yeah. Well, and so at that point you already were, right? I mean, you learned to fly before you could drive.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that, if you would.
Yeah, I told you at one point about that aircraft. I was looking at them like I'm enjoying. I'm interested, like how we releasing bombs.
Yeah, yeah. You wanted to get in on the action. Yeah, that's fascinating.
Yeah. Sorry, say it again. Yeah. Question.
Well, just if you could tell us about your path of how you learned to fly before you could learn to drive. Is it the same in Iraq when you were growing up that you had to be 16 to drive, or could you drive before then legally?
In Iraq, to be drive in 18.
18.
18, yeah. You have to get the driver license.
But they allowed you to fly at 15? That makes
With
sense?
my dad.
Yeah.
But it's not by myself.
I mean, do you get a pilot license the same way at 15, or you could fly?
No, actually, my brother get a PPL when he was 17.
Oh, wow.
17 or 18, like approaching 18.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a flying club, like an aviation club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I apologize on bouncing around. It made me think a little bit of just still kind of talking about your childhood, because I find it fascinating. Growing up, were guns a big part of Iraqi culture? I know you talked about BB guns and Gophers, but did most households have weapons, and it was common that people would carry them around, or was it rare? Or
most of the people, they have like pistols, and some of them they have machine gun.
From a registration standpoint, was the Iraqi government strict about it?
No, we don't have like a registration for that one.
So you could just go buy whatever.
Yeah, just get buy.
Yeah.
But we don't have stores like for these things.
Yeah.
But for BB gun, yes, we have for that one. But for pistols, sometimes like they buy it from Jordan or buy it other country, or they buy it from the army. Like some of them, they pass it to them.
Yeah.
But the most of them, like that they are officers, so they give them a pistol.
Yeah, yeah. In terms of crime growing up, do you remember? Guns are a huge, hotly debated topic here in the United States. Were guns used from a crime standpoint much growing up? Or was there a lot of theft, robbery, murder with firearms, or was it not really a...
No, before nothing.
Yeah. So you could buy them anywhere. Everybody had them, but very, very rarely did people use them.
Yeah, you can buy them from like different countries, but they don't have special stores to sell those stuff. No.
Yeah. From you interviewing him over the course of months, have I missed anything that you gathered from him during his childhood leading up until just before he joined the Air Force that you recall as being fascinating?
I think for me the most fascinating part was, I think... Climbing, yes.
And
his first story, his very first memory, when he's about 4 or 5, he jumps from a rooftop with an umbrella.
Yeah.
He thinks they're wings. He thinks he's going to fly, and he broke a lot of bones. And I think what struck me the most is that for him being a pilot, and I always say this, it's not a job. It's like an identity.
Yeah.
This pilot is the blood coursing through his body. It's his heart and soul, and this is apparent to me through our entire time working together. It's not optional. He is a pilot. It's not what he chose to do with his life. It's not just something he studied. This is identity. This is legacy of his father, legacy of his brother, and those two things are very deep themes of his story and very, prevalent throughout his childhood in the stories. Jumping off the roof, making, obsessing over his model aircrafts that he was putting together, stealing magazines from the airbase so that he could study them better. I mean, it's just, is it an obsession? I would say more an identity, so that's very much the part that struck me the most.
Yeah.
So I started dipping when I was in high school. I started with pouches, as most kids do. Ultimately, in the military, I dipped the entire time I was there. A lot of us did. One of the things about dipping is that it kind of turns into a ritual where, it's really part of the culture almost. Oftentimes in the military and in a lot of fields that are that way. And one of the things, obviously, real tobacco isn't the best for you, but because of that ritual being such an ingrained part of that culture, it's something that a lot of times we miss. And even when I got out of the Navy, I still dipped for a number of years. I wish that I had this product, Black Buffalo. It's a tobacco-free alternative that I can tell you it looks, smells, tastes, feels everything like the real thing, but there is no tobacco in it. And it's a phenomenal product. They have mint, wintergreen, blood orange, straight peach. What's cool is they've got the straight as far as the cut. They've got long cut. They've got pouches. So it's really kind of a one-stop shop for tobacco-free alternatives that way. But they also have a zero version, which has absolutely no nicotine. So you can get it with nicotine if you want the nicotine, or you can get it without nicotine if you don't. It's all food-grade ingredients, green cabbage essentially, as well as pharmaceutical-grade nicotine if that's the option that you choose. But it's just an awesome company. It's veteran started, and they're big supporters of the Mic Drop podcast. And it's a product that I stand behind and absolutely endorse. It's a great crew of guys. What's really cool about Black Buffalo is it's it's the look, the feel, the smell, the taste, the texture, everything the same as regular dip. And to me, that's the big thing missing from all and any other alternatives, the little pouches of nicotine or any of the other stuff that doesn't use a product that really has that same feel. It doesn't feel like you're actually dipping it. So Black Buffalo has done a masterful job at creating that same experience. The flavors are all on point. The long cut and the pouches are both just like the real thing. And again, the fact that you can get it with nicotine if you want, or you can get it completely nicotine free if you want. So again, if you're 21 years or older and you dip and you want that tobacco free alternative, go to blackbuffalo.com and the code is MicDrop for 20% off.
One of the stories about you crafting planes and climbing up to the top of the prayer tower. If you could, can you share that story?
Yeah, I used to make aircraft models from styrofoam and cardboard. Yeah, but it's perfect. I put all the dynamics there, aerodynamics perfectly. Yeah. So I make one of them it was big, huge, about more than wingspan, maybe 1.5 meters, about let we say about 7 feet, more than 7 feet. Yeah. So I make it, then I have to test it. I test it from the roof. It's okay, but I need something higher. Yeah. So I tried first. I didn't tell her. I pull it with the car, but something happened. After takeoff, it's turned to the left. Then I get broken wing. Get it like that one. So I fix it. Then I tell myself, okay, let's go there. So I go with my friend there. It's big, huge. You have to take it carefully, because it's it's around stairs. Yeah. So it's very tight room to get there. When I get there, so I release it. Stays about 17 minutes, maybe.
Wow. 17 minutes?
Yeah, because it was crazy. Windy, and take us higher and higher and higher, and then land at one of the neighbor. So when take it. But the most funny things I think mentioned in the book, the guy who was responsible for the mosque, cleaning or something like that, he noticed we are there, because we are laughing and laughing. Yeah. He locked the door.
That'll teach you.
Yeah. Then we start cussing him. Then he opened it.
That's great. And so you did that a couple times, right? Built really to scale perfect ones, and one where it hit your neighbor's front door or right down front.
Yeah,
she was impressed. And so one thing that I found fascinating was how young you were when you joined the Air Force, and I know even Saddam commented, how young you looked, but I didn't realize that you could join the Air Force right at 18 and go right into a pilot program. Can you kind of walk us through what that was like?
Yes, actually, like after you finish like high school, you can join the Air Force like that. I mean, you are like 18 years old, maybe sometime younger. You didn't finish even 18, but still like you can join the Air Force after finish the high school. So I joined at that time, and I start like normally, like finish the college. Then because my father, like he was in a high position in Iraqi Ministry of Defense, so he put me in VIP squadron. So I started there.
Yeah. And so did this, I guess, taking one step back, when Iran and Iraq war happened, did your dad fly against Iran during that time?
He was in a high level position, so he fly, but very few. It's not like as an active other squadron. Like he was at that time. He was a general.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Was the Iraqi military overall, was that something that kids looked at as something desirable to join? Like, was that a big deal for kids growing up? Was that a respected?
Yes, some like whatever. If you like to be an officer or a pilot, so that's your dream, you can join. But most of them, they scared because it's war. Start war, Iraqi-Iran, and the other war like with Palestine long time ago.
Yeah.
With Israel, like that was in 1973 was by the Sinai, and the other one 1967. So they lost many soldiers and officers at that time. So for most of them, they scared to let the kids to join the army or Air Force.
And so was during the height of the Iran-Iraq war, was there was a lot of casualties. It was a pretty bloody, difficult war. Can you kind of explain what it was like being in the Air Force and living through that?
Yeah, actually, like when the jet fighters, when they do mission, I was also like a VIP. I was like, if they have certain mission to attack Iran or certain target in Iran. So I took a delegation from Iraqi Air Force headquarters, take them from Baghdad, let's we say, to go to Nasiriyah or go to Basra or to go to Kut or Saddam Air Base, wherever who's going to do the mission. I take the big officers from Iraqi Air Force headquarters to that air base and stay with them. So I see them they mentioned everything, what's gonna happen exactly, and they take off. Some of them they get back, like they take off like 6 aircraft, they came 5 aircrafts, they lose one of them.
Yeah.
So
it's common.
Yeah, it's common, but it's sad. But in general, during Iraqi-Iran war, more than 1 million casualty people or killed.
Yeah. Did you know a lot?
Oh, many friends. Many friends, from my family, like second cousin, my cousin, many.
Yeah.
Even my first cousin, she was pregnant, and that was actually 1991. So they want to hit a rocket gas station or something like that. But her house very close to that one. She get killed at that time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's my first cousin.
Man, I'm sorry to hear that. I know, from reading your dad had very strong opinions against Saddam and how he came to power, and that scared you, but it ultimately filtered down into you felt the same way. especially during the war, was it pretty common for whether it was like some Ba'ath Party folks or even did the Saddam, were they prominent then with rounding people up and torturing them for talking bad about Saddam and being against the war, or can you kind of tell us about that?
Actually, they didn't torture them; they killed them.
Really?
Yeah.
Just straight kill them.
Even if you make a joke.
Wow.
If you make a joke and you mention Saddam name, that's done.
Yeah, that's. I mean, it's hard to even really imagine.
And many times I told my father, please, Dad, don't say anything, please, even in front of any kids.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes the kids like they're watching TV, and the father sitting there, and Saddam like pop out in the TV.
Yeah.
So if you say something, and that's a little kid, oh my dad hit Saddam, so and so, he said that one. I mean, done.
Who were the people that would come kill people? Like, what group was responsible for that?
There was Saddam intelligence they have.
Did they have? Was there a name of that? Was it?
They call it Iraqi intelligence, or they call it I don't know. In Iraqi they call it Jihaz al-Amn al-Khas. That's a special people very close to Saddam.
And do you know about how many of them there were total?
No, actually.
I mean, was
but a lot.
Tens of thousands?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because, I mean, to me, it's hard to imagine a country where there's millions of people that such a small group of people can terrorize at such a high level. You know, from a numbers standpoint, you know, the population outnumbers so much, but they're so scared of really a percentage or a fraction of a percentage. How was that possible? Like, how did they have so much power being such a small group?
Yeah, because when he received the 1979 to be president of Iraqi president, so he recruited all his family from Tikrit. He recruited everything, he put him around him. Mm-hmm. So, and put him many offices, in many different ministry over there.
So it was all family.
Yeah, whole family. Most of the people, they scared from them. They don't want to talk anything in front of them, and they are very powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can say anything for you. You can't say anything.
Yeah. And pitching it back to Lauren, in hearing him describe some of these stories, did anything stick out to you as being kind of the most egregious or most, from an atrocity standpoint, the most shocking?
I think there was a situation in which he said either first or second cousins. We wrote about this in the book, in which something was said about Saddam, and the man in question fled, and back home he said, I will kill both your sons if you don't return to take your punishment. And he stayed, and the sons died. And three of them. I am a parent. To live in this kind of fear and to have someone who's actually his family members. Imagine reading that letter, and we all think we know exactly what we would do, but this is a survival choice. This is one of these, we see it played out in the movies, these Walking Dead kind of scenarios where who lives, who dies, who's going to survive, and these are unthinkable situations. Yeah. And I think something that we don't fully understand, and I think too, any of us that grew up in America, we don't know maybe even the psychological effects of not being able to actually audibly say your thoughts. Mm-hmm. We live in the land where you can really spout off just about anything. Yeah. You can say whatever you want. You can curse the name of anybody. And so to live so carefully where you're suppressing, not even to family members, not even to let it be heard, to say your thoughts, I think it's, it's just a very different environment.
Yeah, I mean, that's an impossible scenario to imagine as a parent, being somewhere else and your kids' lives being threatened if you don't come home. I mean, I can't even imagine. From that point on, you're in the VIP squadron and you're flying around a lot of very important people and kind of at the upper echelon of the government as it relates to military service. Talk about your first time that you actually met Saddam and flew him, and walk us through that whole story.
Yeah, actually, I fly with him many times, but the first time I was when I took him to Mosul. He was like 8 at that time. So tomorrow, let's say, like before 1 day of Eid. So I took him to Mosul. This is first time I saw him, and I stay in Mosul, stay there for second day. Then he sent me like back to Baghdad, and he stayed there in Mosul.
Yeah.
So this is first time actually I was like very like nervous.
Sure.
Yeah, very like I want to concentrate. I don't want to do anything wrong.
Yeah.
I want to fly smooth. I want to do like, everything should be perfect.
Yeah. Was
But
it
otherwise, I was excited actually.
really?
Yeah, at that time.
Was it hard to reconcile your hatred for him and also be excited? But was it hard to figure out how to feel?
Yeah, actually, I excited to like a president. As a president,
Yeah.
I'm gonna fly with the president. That one different story than Saddam.
Yeah.
That's like a position. But Saddam,
What was your first impression of him when you saw him? Was he what you thought he would be in person?
to be honest with you, he was nice all the time with the pilots.
Yeah.
Yeah, when he walk in, he say hi. How are you? Like, what do you need? Do you have anything to do for you? I tell him no, thank you so very much.
Yeah.
Like, and when he walked out, like he say thank you, and he sent as a gift at that time.
Do you know if any of the pilots ever said, yeah, you know what, I could use this, and actually ask him for something, or did everybody say, no, I don't need anything, I'm good?
No, nobody
Nobody
answers
I
yes.
just think you want to owe him a
Yeah,
favor.
yeah.
Yeah, you know what, I could use something. How did he carry himself? Did you get the impression that, certain people have a certain presence about them? They carry themselves a certain way that they just exude, whether it's a powerful position, confidence, arrogance, nervousness. I mean, did you pick up anything like that from him when you first met him and subsequently spending more and more time? Did you get a vibe from him at all?
Yes, actually, when first time, like I told you, like very nervous, my heart beating. I don't know, like 150 at that time. But after a couple times, like when I flew with him, like a routine
Yeah.
mission. You walk in. Good morning, sir. How are you? Good, done. Like as a normal delegation.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Did you pick anything up from him as far as his energy? Did he seem like a tyrant? Like did he come across to you as being an evil person?
no. But I look at his eyes. His eyes like sparkling.
Yeah.
Even like to be honest with you, I can't look at him
Yeah.
just
Intimidating?
yeah. Like I put my eyes on
Yeah.
round. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
If he want to shake hands, okay. But we can like shake hand unless he want.
Right.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
they tell us don't go close to him. Don't shake hands. Nothing.
Yeah.
Unless he.
Yeah. I know there's some stories about seeing him in his underwear and and some other embarrassing stuff. I'd love to kind of pitch it to both you guys to go through, if you can kind of maybe prompt some of the good stories that are worth telling. Obviously, you don't want to share everything from the book.
With Saddam in particular,
Yeah.
or just interesting flights? Because
both.
there's a couple. Okay. To me, one of the most interesting, it's not a long story, but it's just simply that, he thought a door was jammed. They had already landed. He thought a door was jammed, and someone said, the door's shut. Typically, it's not shut between the cockpit and this particular room in the jet. And he goes and gives it a quick knock and an open, and Saddam's standing there in his underwear. And, it's a small story, but for him, first and foremost, the fear you feel, you've seen the guy, maybe he's not having a good day, maybe it's not going to go well for you after this. But what struck me most is, to be up close and personal, there is a humanity to this person, and even someone who, committed incredible atrocities. What he saw was the man, and at the end of the day, whether it's Hitler or it's Saddam or, these kind of different people, at the end of the day, these are men in their underwear. For me, it's a metaphoric in a way. And, as he talked about, his friendliness, there's, two sides to it. And from what I experienced from him, from the stories he told, a very extreme bipolar. You get one Saddam or the other Saddam. And if it's happy Saddam, it's okay. But if it's angry Saddam, then you're taking your last breath, And so I think there had to be some extreme bipolar in between there. So for me, that's a story that stuck out. And then, one that I think would be better for him to tell is the classified meeting that took place between him and the Prime Minister of Israel.
Yeah.
Because for me, that's an interesting one, and I think it would be worthwhile for him to tell how it went down in the story of how that happened.
But before you jump into that, did anything happen with the underwear story? Was he pissed?
Yeah, actually, I was very scared when I opened the door.
Yeah.
He said, hey, wait. So I went to the cockpit, sit in my seat, and then when he worked out, he told me, I'm very sorry, sir, very sorry. I thought the door was something happened to the lock or jamming, something like that. So he told me, easy, why in a hurry? I thought, again, sorry. Then he said, tell me, don't worry. And he tapped on my shoulder. So at that time, I start breathing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet you're about shitting your pants. Do you know, did he carry a gun on him all the time?
Yeah, all the time. Yeah.
A pistol?
Yeah, pistol on the side. And even his security bodyguards, they carry guns, machine guns.
Did he, was he forward about, would he show it? Would he make sure everybody saw that he was carrying it?
Because you're wearing army uniform.
Oh, okay.
And a gun on the side.
Yeah, okay.
Like a cowboy.
Yeah. John Wayne.
John Wayne. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. Okay, so if you could tell the story about the meeting with the Israel Prime Minister, because that's one that I think very few people know even to this day that even happened.
And one that only just recently is he able to talk about it.
Yeah.
This is something that he's for many years lived in fear of assassination for, and so the ability to freely speak about it now here publicly is really incredible.
Yeah, that was actually later in 1987, after a meeting between Saddam and al-Assad, Syrian president. That meeting actually it's run by King Hussein. That was in 1987 in H5. It's an air base in Jordan. After a while from that meeting, it was end of the week. So they said to prepare, make aircraft ready. It's a VIP movement, but we didn't know anything. Should be my friend go with this mission. But he live in Fallujah, about 80 kilometers west of Baghdad. So he was his day off. He want to take it off. So he want to catch the time to get there early. He told me, "Can you fly instead of me?" I'm okay. I love to fly. Anyone you're gonna donate his mission, I'm ready.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was sitting in the aircraft. They pulled the aircraft in the VIP. Where is HALT, they call it there. So I was waiting at cockpit, and suddenly Saddam appeared. So he was wearing suit, regular suit. It's not army uniform. So he walked to the aircraft, say, "Hi guys, how are you?" "Good, sir." So he said, "Do you know where we're going?" I told him no. He told me to Habbaniya Air Base. I told him which one, the top or the lower one, because they have two of them. He told me the top one. "Okay, sir." So I thought somebody gonna walk with him. So they kept the door open. The flight engineer keep the door open. He told me, "That's it, just by myself." Okay, close the door. I didn't know anything about this mission. So I said, what is a routine mission for me, that one? So fly, take off normal to Habbaniya, establish contact with Habbaniya tower. So immediately he told me like, okay, you're clear to land. Still on fire. Should be like, call me 2 minutes, call me like final. So clear to land, okay, clear to land. Well, I land there. He came to the cockpit. He said, park next to King Hussein aircraft. I seen it like on the side in the dispersal. So I went there. It's King Hussein aircraft on the left. I parked right off it. Opened the door. He walked out. 2 people, they came from the other side from King Hussein aircraft. That was walking together until past nose of the aircraft. I was sitting there watching them. I saw King Hussein and the Israeli Prime Minister, Mr. Rabin, and Saddam walk together. They meet each other just like to the left of my aircraft, between 2 aircraft. But I still like, it's not even, let's we say, 30 feet away.
Yeah.
I'm in the top, in the cockpit. I see everything, but I can't hear anything.
Wow.
So they shaking hands together, King Hussein and Saddam and Mr. Rabin and Saddam, smiling together. They walk to the King Hussein aircraft. They get inside. About 3 hours and a half. That's meeting, but nobody knows what's going on there.
And you were sitting in the cockpit the whole time?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I was shocked. Like, even I was like, ask my friend. Like I was shocked for a minute. Many things happened in my head. So I told him, did you see what I see? He told me yes. I told him, who's that? Do you know who's that? He told me yes. Is it Mr. Rabin? He told me yes, absolutely.
So at that point in your life, did you still view Israel as the bad guy?
No.
I mean, so even then you kind of
No.
had different feelings. If I can only assume, I guess I'm asking, if the Iraqi population knew that meeting took place, would all hell break loose? Like, would people lose their minds? Or I mean, obviously that was not something that they wanted.
Some of them yes, some of them no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so did anybody say anything to you at that point to say you didn't see any of this, or did they?
Yeah, actually, after like the meeting done, they start walking in front of the aircraft a couple times, like back and forth, and they smiling, they talking together, but I can't hear him, like still like in the cockpit. So he walk in to the aircraft. He say, okay. I told him, sir, where are you heading now? He told me to Baghdad International, which is Saddam International before Baghdad. Now is Baghdad International Airport. Okay, he told me, you fly first. But it was like happy, hugging, like, shaking hands perfectly.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, and smiling from ear to ear, as he said, yeah.
Yeah.
So I fly there. Then after landing Baghdad airport, many Mercedes came to the aircraft by the door. He disappeared. I don't know which car he ride. I don't know. So before he walk out, he came to the cockpit and he put his hand on my shoulder and the other friends. He said, guys, did you see something? Immediately, without any thinking, or struggling at him, no, sir. That's good. Then he tapping on my shoulder.
Yeah. Wow.
So
That's like some shit out of a movie.
Yes,
like a
yes,
mob boss
yes,
scene or
yes.
something.
And at that day, my friend, he should be he make to from Baghdad to his where he live in Fallujah is not even 45 minutes drive. It take him about 9 hours or 11 hours. I don't know. I don't remember, because he told me all the roads completely closed.
Yeah.
Yeah, from Rumadi to Habbaniya, from Baghdad to Habbaniya, all around the area, within the radius maybe 100, 150 kilometers. That's completely like surrounding with the special forces for Saddam, and they closed all the roads at that time.
Wow. One thing that you talked about in terms of the application process, and it made me think of, potentially why you were selected, is that, for sure he didn't want anybody that had any Shia affiliation. But the fact that it was kind of surprising to read that you basically didn't really have much of a religious upbringing, because that's fairly rare there, correct? I mean, most people at least are either Sunni or Shia, by and large, right? I mean, is it pretty rare to not be religious growing up? And do you think that the fact that you weren't helped get you in to the position you were?
Actually, first time when I joined the VIP squadron, like we have couple pilots, Shia, but the most of them, like 80% Sunni, 85% Sunni. Even though Shia, there was like good pilots, very professional.
Yeah.
But he like moved him to other squadron, just completely Sunni.
Yeah.
And anyone has like in his family, like I have my wife's parents and actually her sister and her brother live in the United States. So I moved lately from this VIP squadron to other squadron because my sister-in-law and my brother-in-law live in the United States.
Yeah. Wow.
So they scared. Even when they moved me, actually, I tell the officer over there, but he's my friend. I tell him, I'm very proud, I'm very happy, like Saddam Hussein scared from my brother and sister-in-law.
Yeah.
He told me,
powerful.
hey, Mohammed, I didn't hear anything.
Yeah.
I told him, I know you hear very well.
Yeah.
He told me, no, I don't hear. Just get out.
Yeah. All right, guys, as you know, I'm into health and fitness and specifically how nutrition relates to it. Coffee has been a staple of mine and I think most people's for a long time. As you know, I'm a big proponent of Mudwater, which is a sponsor of this show. They have been for a while now, and we have a great partnership. I love their product. It's a phenomenal alternative to coffee. For me, coffee, there's jitters, there's mold in it. A lot of times it tends to kind of upset my stomach. But Mudwater has adaptogenic mushrooms. There's a fraction of the caffeine that coffee has. There's a little bit, but it's very, very little. And it really leans on mushrooms and the blend of matcha and chai for kind of that sustained energy that continues to go and doesn't crash the way coffee does when it runs out. They use lion's mane for alertness, cordyceps to support physical performance, chaga and reishi to support the immune system, turmeric for soreness, and cinnamon for antioxidants. I really enjoy that first cup of warm liquid in the morning by taking Mudwater instead of coffee, and I'll put just a splash of heavy cream or even some protein powder, some collagen powder, and I also throw usually a couple drops of stevia or monk fruit vanilla to make it kind of a thick, normal morning coffee ritual type of concoction. And I got to tell you, it does wonders for me, and I'm really, really glad that I switched. It's been, a better part of a year now, that I've been taking that and using that as part of my daily morning routine, and it's fantastic. I love it. I can't recommend it enough. It's 100% USDA, organic, non-GMO, gluten-free, vegan, and kosher certified, and they also donate to the Berkeley Center for Science of Psychedelics, which is groundbreaking and leading research to help veterans with PTSD and other associated illnesses and syndromes. So great cause, great company, phenomenal product. If you go to Mudwater, that's mudwtr.com/Mike to support this show and the product, and use the code MikeMud, MIKEMUD, all caps, for 15% off. That's, again, Mudwater, mudwtr.com/Mike, and the code is MikeMud, MIKEMUD, all caps, for 15% off. Go check them out. Did you find that, and did Saddam tend to favor you or other pilots? Like, do you know if he would pick and say, I want you to fly, or was there a preference that way?
Saddam, no, but actually I used to fly with him many times because we go under like a special medical check every 6 months. Imagine if you have fungus in your feet and your toes, you're not allowed to fly with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I know you feed that one. You're gonna shake your hand with the feet. What?
Yeah.
so most of them. So they get a report.
Yeah.
So this one avoid. Just you.
Yeah.
You can fly with Saddam.
Yeah. Do you know about how many times you flew him?
Maybe more than between 15, 20 times.
15, 20 times.
Yeah.
Can you tell any stories of any other flights that you took with him that stand out?
Like story.
There's another really good one when you flew from Djibouti to Mogadishu. To me, that is maybe my favorite one.
It was like with
It's
the Ministry of Commerce.
yeah,
right?
Ministry of Commerce. Yeah,
Commerce. I mean,
and full engine failure upon takeoff first. That
yeah. You want me?
yeah.
Yeah. That was actually I don't know which year exactly. Around like 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was have a mission to take Minister of Commerce from Baghdad. He carrying to Baghdad to Yemen, like Sana'a, Aden, then Djibouti, then Mogadishu, somewhere. Then get back to Baghdad. That's my mission. It was carrying, I don't know, letters from Saddam to the president. I don't know at that time. I don't know what happened exactly. So as soon as takeoff from, but before that actually, I saw my neighbor. She has like I call her witch. I don't know. She's
Practicing
when
witchcraft.
I see him. Yeah, when I see her, something happened.
Yeah.
That's my wife.
bad luck
Yeah,
charm.
my wife tell me all the time, but I didn't realize actually
Yeah.
until that's happened to her.
She's putting a
So I
hex on
see
you.
her.
For
Hi,
sure.
good morning, but I didn't concentrate or realize what's gonna happen exactly. So I take off from Baghdad, about 50 kilometers, like south of Baghdad, west of Baghdad, in Hashmiya. I don't know if you served in Iraq.
I did.
Yes, well, yeah, sure. So when over Hashmiya, boom, I hear like something like bomb hit the aircraft.
Bombs
It's-
are not good.
Yeah, so I look. So I look for engine fire, number 2, which is like the main engine for like hydraulic system and for more power, like generator and bleed air, everything. I mean ram air or bleed air. So anyway, so I try to control this situation. After I control it, everything, and the military of commerce, like he was like panic over there. He sent his security secretary, what happened, and so on. So everything is okay. So after like control everything and do all the fire extinguisher and drills like in for emergency, I realized I shut down completely the engine and control it. I realized I'm overweight, 10,000 pounds.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's fuel. I have to dump it. I have only like maybe 15 minutes to land or 12 minutes to land. That's
Or you're
and
going to
that one
land one way or another.
yeah, this one it takes like about 30 minutes to get rid of those 10,000 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it took that long.
Yeah, so a lot, 10,000 pounds, yeah.
Yeah.
So actually, it's then I realized also, look at me, myself, I thought, okay, you can't do Jetson if you have engine fire. And you can't do Jetson over city. And you can't do Jetson if you have a close to CB cloud, like thunderstorm. So I have two situations, over city and I have engine fire, but I have to. So if I land at this weight, something happened to the structure or for the landing gears, something happened like it's over the limit
Yeah.
for limitation for the aircraft. Okay, I contact the tower. I tell him like I have, after he knows like I have engine fire or something, he handled my friend, like the co-pilot handled the situation for the communications. So I tell him, okay, I'm going to do Jetson, just look at turbine. So look to the aircraft if there is black smoke or white smoke. Usually when you do that one, it's a white smoke. So, okay, start to do Jetson. So he tell me, okay, white. It's okay. That mean, okay, like the fire completely done. No more fire. So I kept releasing the jet fuel until short final. So I land overweight, but much better than 10,000 pounds. Maybe I land around 6,000 over or 5,000 over, but it was good. It's better than 10,000.
Yeah.
Then I land there. They changed the aircraft, not even hour, take hour.
Wow.
So then I fly again.
Same
No
aircraft.
time to rest.
Yeah.
No. He has a letter from Saddam. He has to get it.
I mean,
So I fly again. So land in Sana'a, normal, then flying to Aden, normal, then to Djibouti. I
How-
stay in Djibouti.
How long are these flights time wise about?
Yeah, like from to?
Yeah.
Yeah, from Baghdad to Sana'a, about 4 hours. About 4 hours, 4 hours and a half. From Sana'a to Aden is not even 30 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because the same Yemen was north and south. From Aden to Djibouti, just across the border, like, it's very tight. It's not even 35, 40 minutes.
And then Mogadishu.
Mogadishu, no. So I land there. I land stay in Djibouti. I reached around it was night time at that day. So stay. He told me tomorrow I have to leave to Djibouti. To Somal, to Mogadishu. Okay. What time? 7:30. I remember. That should be. I went there like early, about hour early. But if you check the aircraft, do flight plan, do many things, read the NOTAMs, whatever they have. So he came to the aircraft, then take off. The route takes about 2 hours and a half, but it's jungle time, like all the no nav aids, no nothing there. You have
really?
you have to depend on your, they call it VLF or INS. They call it. It look like GPS.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the VLF, very low frequency. It's like GPS exactly.
there's cannibal communities there in the jungle, as you said, right?
Yeah, jungle. So no nav aids on jungle because who's gonna live there? Because they need to do service for those stations on the ground. So who's gonna reach them? And it's not worth it to put there. Anyway, so I have to do operation normal every 10 minutes, every 15 minutes, like they call it a blind transmit by HF. Even VHF doesn't reach because VHF line of sight. And HF is high, range. So I keep every 10 minutes, 15 minutes. This is Iraqi so-and-so level, so-and-so from Djibouti to Mogadishu, time out from Djibouti, so-and-so. Just give them my location.
Mm-hmm.
Operation normal. So if something happened, so they can do search in this area. Then I start approaching Mogadishu. So it's still within range for the VHF for the Mogadishu center. So I can Mogadishu center, so Iraqi so-and-so, level so-and-so, estimated time for arrive. Normal communications. Nothing. Nobody answer. Again. And again, nothing. I started approaching the airfield now. So I came to the final, but I still look around. So I pass, it's to the right of the final actually. So just pass close to the tower. It's a low level. I pass, I thought it was I have radio failure. So I do procedure for radio failure, which is shaking the wings, pass over the tower. I do circle, another circuit. I go around, nothing. There should be I reach, they call it flares. Red don't land, green you clear to land.
Still nothing.
Nothing. I did again, nothing. So then I tell myself, okay, let's land. Now I have fuel. So I land there. Then I go exit. Even they don't have taxiway, they have to go back around or backtrack on the runway. They don't have taxiway on the site, just the same runway. End of the runway, turn around, go back to the dispersal. So I saw, as soon as I approached the dispersal, so I saw two cars coming to us. So they walk out from the car. They jumped from the car. I was stopped at that time, opened the door, they came. I can realize it's Iraqi faces because they're different, African and then Asian, Iraqi. So they came to the aircraft. They get inside. They say, "Oh, guys, why are you coming? When are you coming?"
So they had
Why
no
is-
idea.
Like, yeah. The why? They have military corps now today. Just happened like about an hour ago.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God! So I turn off the engines, then I can't go anywhere because I don't have fuel. So I hear bullets of like tons of bullets like around the city, like machine gun, bombing, boom, boom, like all around that one. So they took the Ministry of Commerce to the Iraqi embassy.
Wow.
One of the car and the other car stay with us, and 2 people they stay with us. So and I told him, he told me, "What do you need?" I told him, "Fuel. I need fuel." So he told me, "I don't know from where get you fuel." So at this moment, like I see person walk to the aircraft. He's from Somalia. He say, "Hi, Captain." He told me, "You need help?" I told him, "Yes, I need fuel." Okay, he told me, "Okay, let me see what I can do." He told him, "Do you have like Bowser that can for the fuel?" No, I said, "No." He went, then he came back. He told me, "I have barrels and the pump. Is it okay?" Yeah, it's okay.
How long did that take?
Yeah, that's a lot.
2 weeks later.
Yeah. So he bring it with the 2-wheelers and like back and forth and pumping. So until I didn't like full fuel, but enough for Jeddah. I had to fly to Jeddah.
Yeah.
Next step. Because he told me, the Minister of Commerce, I want to go to Umrah, visit Mecca. So I want to go to Jeddah.
Yeah.
So anyway, I got fuel.
How long did it take to fuel up?
Well, altogether about 8 hours.
Yeah.
Like altogether.
Jeez.
Until came the minister, like started like getting dark.
Yeah. Wow.
Like, yeah, almost like. So when I fly, I tell like your normal procedure, like after takeoff, you make a right over the city, set heading to Jeddah. But when I fly, like I didn't go like normal procedure. I get a low level of flight, go to the water, over the water, then ocean, that one, start climbing over the ocean and about 20,000 feet, then a turn over the city, because away from Citrella, away from rockets, away from machine gun, I don't know who's going to shoot us.
Yeah.
At that time, everything is upside down. And then set heading to Jeddah. When we reach Jeddah, get to the hotel, all smell like fuel, gas, like, dust. I don't know, like mechanic
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
I think the moral of the story is if your neighbor's practicing witchcraft,
So yeah, so at
Don't
that,
lie.
don't
at
talk
that
to the
time,
neighbor.
Yeah.
At that time, I didn't realize. So that one, even when I make it home, I told my wife, "This is what happened to me," and do you know why? I saw my neighbor at that time. He told me, "I told you."
Yeah. She's
been
I
predicting
told
it.
you. So I start to avoid her, like
Yeah. Yeah. What plane were you flying in, and was it usually the same type of aircraft?
I fly. That's for the VIP Jetstar.
Jetstar.
Jetstar. They call it Lockheed 329.
And about how many seats are in that?
Altogether 14 seats.
14 seats. And I mean, like a
VIP.
VIP, yeah. Were there any markings on the plane? Like was the Iraqi flag and the?
Yeah, it's like actually this one it's belong Iraqi Air Force, but even run by Iraqi Air Force, but it's registration by Iraqi Airways,
Oh, okay.
and even the color for the Iraqi Airways, but it's run by Iraqi pilots.
Okay,
I
so-
mean Air Force pilots.
So if the Somalians, they would have seen what they would have thought as just an Iraqi airway.
Iraqi Airways and even uniform.
Yeah.
When I have mission outside the country, I wear airlines uniform.
Really?
Yeah.
What was it just to?
Like nobody knows I'm like captain
Yeah.
or major or colonel.
Yeah.
Nobody knows.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
wild.
just inside the Iraq, it's my like ranks normal, like suit, flying suit,
Yeah.
normal. But outside, no. Even passport, Iraqi
Everything.
Airways,
Really?
ID Iraqi Airways.
The whole thing, huh?
Yeah, whole thing.
Yeah.
I have 2.
Did they instruct you to use that as a cover? Like if you were talking to people, you would just say you're an Iraqi airway pilot?
Yes,
Yeah.
nobody knows. Nobody
Yeah.
knows. I'm like a military Air Force.
Were there? I mean, obviously there were times where you flew Saddam outside of the country. How did you kind of make that work if you're pretending to be an Iraqi Airways pilot, but you have Saddam with you.
Actually, Saddam never go to outside the country with me, just inside the country. Just
Okay.
one time to Jordan.
To the Jordan, that was it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It was like I was like normal.
Yeah.
Like I take him as I put my uniform
Yeah.
to Jordan. When you go to Jordan, because it's air base.
Yeah.
So they know. Sorry.
Yeah.
They know about
Okay.
our aircraft.
Yeah. So kind of moving forward, you flew Saddam a number of other times between then and when the first Gulf War took place. Were there any other trips that you took Saddam on that stand out as being memorable before the first Gulf War happened?
First Gulf by Iraqi Iran or by Kuwait? Kuwait. I fly. Actually, after that, because they hit all the aircraft, so just one left. Actually, they took it to Iran.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So what was it like for you when the Kuwait invasion took place and America got involved in the first Gulf War? What was that like for you?
To be honest with you, nobody knows about the situation between Iraq and Kuwait, or Iraq, Saddam is gonna take over Kuwait.
So you were
Nobody
just as
knows.
surprised.
I was in before 2 weeks before August 2nd. I was in July 14th, July 15th, around this time. I was with the President Arafat. Was the tension between Iraq and Kuwait. He tried to solve the problem. I landed in Kuwait. Then after that, I was in Cairo. At the same night, when he took over Kuwait, I was in Cairo with Tariq Aziz. But it's supposed to be stay with him 4 days, or second days he came. Like the security, they came to us. They told me, okay, the minister, I need you to go there to the aircraft today. We're gonna get back to Iraq, but nobody knows why. So I landed at that time at around 10:30. I was tired, so my squad leader told me, okay, Mohammed, don't come normal like tomorrow. Just come like late, hour late, whatever, because I'm tired. Like, I told him, okay. So second day when I get there, I look, everything's upside down. What happened? Saddam take over the Kuwait. Nobody knows. But I was like most of the Iraqi, they don't like these steps.
Mm-hmm.
Even the leaders, they don't like these steps.
Did you guys view Kuwait just as a friendly neighbor? I mean, were there any tension? Was there tension between Iraq and Kuwait at that time, from your perspective?
Kuwait, they have many situations. They stand beside Iraq during Iraqi-Iran war. So Iraqi Air Force, they use the bases, especially when they land, short fuel. Sometimes they make 25. Go inside the Iran, away from over Tehran, they came to short fuel. Mm-hmm. Or they go fly over those petrol stations. So they came short fuel, they land in Kuwait, they take fuel, then continue back to Iraq. Yeah. So, I mean, many things like it. It's a good situation with Iraq. They stand beside Iraq. Yeah. I don't know what happened. He decide by himself. Nobody knows at all. Yeah. Nobody knows.
So how did that change what you were doing in the military? Did it change, or did you just keep kind of going as normal? Because
after 1991, everything turned upside down. Everything go to worse situation. Everything.
Yeah. What was it like for you when America came and decided
I wish I'd won in 1991 to come completely to take Saddam at that time, but I don't know why I stopped.
Yeah, I don't know why either. Most people don't know why.
All the people in Iraqi, they thought they're gonna finish Saddam.
Yeah,
they're gonna do what?
Where were you when the big air campaign from the United States? Where were you at? Were you up in Mosul?
No, I was first day on 1917 on January 17, 1991. I was do evacuation for the aircraft. Because they said America, they're gonna hit all the air bases, so we tried to get it west of Iraq, which is now Al-Assad, they call it al-qaeda Air Base, in west of Iraq, before Qadisiyah Air Base. So we take 3 aircraft over there.
Basically to hide them? Or
Hide
try to
them,
hide
yeah,
them?
they put them like in the shelters. Like that's exactly on 16th, January 16th, 1991. At the same day, at night, early morning around 4 o'clock, they attacked the air base. Like I was like sleeping in the bed. So boom, boom, like everywhere. There, like castle bombs, everything. So after the sunrise goes up, after the sunrise, so we went to the aircraft. It's completely like suit, like, just nothing. Just you see like ruins.
Yeah.
Ruins all the time.
Yeah. So were you scared at that point?
Yes. Yeah, actually. So I told them, okay, I don't have to stay here because my aircraft, they get, that's it, done. So one of the officers, like, I don't know his name, he has car, so we told him I'm going to Baghdad. I told him, okay, just drop me at the Al-Muthanna Air Base because my car over there. So I get back all day, like, attacking pump station, bridges, attacking communication stations, because first thing here they call it like, communication and transportation, those things. Like,
What was the direction from your superiors? Did you have orders from your higher ups that were saying, okay, hey, America is attacking, we need you to do this?
No, because they attack
so you had
my
nothing.
air base. Like, that's why I lose my logbook. One of them. So they attack the headquarters. Like, my squadron office.
So basically,
building.
You're not hearing from any of your higher ups as to what you're supposed to be
No,
doing.
just said like, go home, guys, stay home, because they don't wanna like put all of us like in one spot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they said like, try to be away from buildings, whatever. We stay home, keep in touch on the phone.
Yeah.
By the phone. Like.
So during the whole air campaign, the shock and awe, kind of the partial invasion, sort of, during the Gulf War, I guess, which was very short. Once it subsided, you were just basically hunkered down during that period. And then afterwards, what did they ask you to do, and what did you do for the Iraqi Air Force after that?
Nothing there, because we don't have aircraft. Just go to the squadron, like, just normal building, like. They move us to school, actually, at that time. So we try to meet each other in the school. Then after that, they move me to other squadron in Rashid Air Base. So I started there.
One thing that I found interesting is that during this time, Saddam put a bounty on the heads of downed American and British pilots. And he actually prepared a room in his house.
Yeah, that's
really.
And he was listening to the radios and did his best to. He wasn't able to actually harbor one, but he prepared a special room in his house for it.
Wow.
And was prepared to do that. I found that to be very interesting. And for him, the pilot code is first and foremost.
Yeah.
And he was actually sitting there ready to do it and listening to the radios. And I found that quite a remarkable part of his story at this point in time.
Oh, it for sure is. So that makes me curious as to, from your perspective, the overall feel both of the Iraqi people that you knew and the circle of the Iraqi military that you served in. What was their perception of America doing what they were doing? Did you view that as this may be a lucky break? Did you look at the United States as the enemy? How did you kind of view that?
Most of the people, they love America.
Even during the bombings, and
yes,
they wanted that to happen.
Because he put us many times, like he did many stupid things. War between Iraq and Iran, kill about 1 million people for no reason, and for the Kuwait also.
Yeah.
It's like innocent people, like innocent country. Help you a lot. Why you go overnight? You get caught invade everything there, like, you know, take over, hold the country.
Yeah. So I guess with that, then I can only assume that there was disappointment when America didn't finish.
Yeah.
So at
We
that
wish
point,
at that time.
yeah. I mean, was it disappointment or was it anger? I mean, were you now kind of mad and scared that Saddam was going to go on a worse rampage, or what was the feeling like in the country after?
I would feel like when I thought like America gonna take over everything about Saddam, like, you know, but they leave him. So I don't know, it's a bad luck again.
Yeah.
We have to deal with this guy
And so
more years.
And so, is it safe to say that the United States pretty much took out all of the Iraqi aircraft during the campaign? Did any of them survive? I mean, were there any aircraft left, or did we destroy everything?
I think they have one of them.
One?
one of them. Those they call it.
I don't know if that's lucky or not. I don't know if I want to fly
like
that one.
SU Sukhoi, they call it.
Yeah.
SU-25, which is a very advanced aircraft.
It's a Russian.
Yeah,
right?
it's Russian. It has two squadrons, each squadron 16 aircraft. All of them, they move it to Iran, and one left.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
I want to take a second to talk about something near and dear to my heart, and that is a staunch supporter of this podcast, which is Bub's Naturals. The hat sitting in front of me here on our coffee table here in the studio belonged to Glenn Doherty. His nickname was Bub. I did 2 platoons with him, and his childhood best friend and another colleague of theirs, Sean is the best friend, TJ is their colleague, started Bub's Naturals, which is a collagen and MCT oil company in Bub's or Glenn's honor. And, you know, for me, it's an absolute honor to be sponsored by and working with a company that, you know, was started in the honor of one of my closest friends and a guy that I went to war with. And, you know, the Bub's brand is not only super quality, you know, collagen powder as well as MCT oil powder, you know, but they also give back to the Glenn Doherty Memorial Foundation. They donate proceeds from their product sales to the Glenn Doherty Memorial Foundation, which, you know, to me just furthers, you know, the mission set on Veterans Day. They give 100% back. So I do believe it's the best collagen on the planet. I like to mix it in with morning coffee. The MCT oil powder, the same thing. It mixes in very easy. It tastes great, and it just kind of adds everything that you want to start your day off from a brain health standpoint, from joint support, gut support. You know, MCT oil and collagen are 2 components, especially as we age, that are integral components to health. And so to be able to work with Bub's Naturals and be able to work with them and sponsor a product that, number one, is a high quality product, and number 2 is so near and dear to you know, to my heart and to the Mic Drop podcast for who it was started for and what it stands for. You know, it's just it's an amazing place to be. So it is Whole30 approved. It's sports certified, so you're not going to run into any problems with that. And I will say that you know, right now they're offering 20% 20% off if you go to bubsnaturals.com and use the Mic Drop code. So I really highly encourage you to try it out, incorporate it into your day-to-day for joint health, for brain health, for cognition, for gut health, and to support an amazing organization that does a lot of things in Glenn Bub's honor. So go to bubsnaturals.com. Mic Drop is the code, 20% off. So from that point on, you basically don't have a job.
And one also illusion. But they have couple like Mirage, MiG-21, but somewhere they hide it, helicopters.
Yeah.
But it's like
One
a
here.
handful, like
Yeah.
it's not,
Just one here or there.
Yeah.
No, like
Yeah.
all of the big squadrons were decimated.
Yeah.
So you basically were out of a job at that point then.
Yes, I moved to other squadron.
Yeah. And what
I
did you do?
I start go to finish flight instructor school. I want to. I've been like at that time flight instructor in the squadron. We have couple aircraft left, so we can fly just locally. Then after that, I went to they call it. I start teaching aerodynamics and flight safety
For no aircraft though, or
for officers, they want to go get like from captain to major. This is like they call it. They have to take this course, refreshment course, refreshment course. So I teach them there. Then I went to semi-retired, which is to Iraqi. They call it warriors, old warriors, whatever those like. Just sitting home and take my salary.
Yeah.
So that was in 1998.
So from 1991 to 1998, did Iraq successfully rebuild their aircraft inventory? No. So 7 years later, they still had basically nothing.
No parts, yeah.
Wow. So how did Saddam get around at that point? Was it all vehicles?
Everybody started hating him. Everybody started, look what is stupid what he did for the country. Look what he did. People like, I don't know, was before like power, like you have everything. Why you go to the Kuwait?
Yeah. And so
Stupid,
was it kind of the tipping point then for where people really started to stand up to him and he wasn't able to rule and be the dictator that he was? Was he not as powerful after that because of it?
Just a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Start less powerful.
Yeah.
Start because the people they talking, when are you going to hold the country?
Yeah. The power and numbers thing started.
Whatever, like, start teach, like, try to approach his chair. No, that one will kill him.
Yeah.
But sometimes people, they start talking bad things about him.
Yeah.
They ignore them just
And I mean, so you weren't flying him around. Was he just driving around the country at that point?
Yeah,
not flying.
No more flying.
Economically, I can only assume that in that 7-year period, it was pretty devastating. The country was pretty broke, and power off, water off. Were there times where you weren't paid?
I would I take salary, my salary not even was. I can buy with my salary maybe 2 dozen of eggs.
Really?
Yes, that's how it
So
is.
how were you getting by?
Whatever I have left.
Did you do extra jobs?
Wasn't gonna job. All of them they broke. So who's gonna pay
broke.
that one?
Yeah. Wow.
But like Iraqi Minister of Commerce, he was do a program like food stamp they call it, or something like that. So they give us like food.
Yeah.
But still behind everything. Whatever I have left, I try use it everything in schedule, everything in shortage.
Did you have kids at that time?
Yes.
Yeah. Did you have them when when the American Gulf War kicked off? Did you have children?
I have 2 of them.
At that time?
Yeah. I have the oldest one, Rania, and Rent.
Yeah.
But my other 2 kids, no, they never.
Yeah. Prior to the Kuwait invasion, reading that there you were pretty well taken care of, right? Like you would fly him and he would give you the equivalent to $3,000 tip. Yeah. Were there any other instances of crazy bags of cash or boxes of gold or anything weird that you saw with him flying around that you're like, holy shit, or any really extravagant gifts or things that took place either with you or with any of the other pilots?
No, didn't carry anything.
But I guess for the flights, though, he made sure that you guys were always taken good care of and tipped you pretty handsomely.
Yes, that's all.
And particularly after the incident with Saddam and the Prime Minister of Israel, he gave him triple his yearly salary for that single flight.
More than a triple.
More than triple, okay.
In cash or?
Cash, yeah.
Iraqi cash or American?
Iraqi cash, yeah.
So when there were some of these, maybe ones that you shouldn't talk about, it's the pat on the back, did you see anything? But then very quickly was given, some very serious compensation.
Yeah. 5 times of my salary.
5 times the salary, just in that single incident. I found that to be quite interesting.
So the big question is did you tell your wife he gave you that?
Yeah.
You did?
Let her go shopping.
Yeah. No, it was just a normal day at the office, honey. Nothing happened. And ends up in a sock drawer.
And one more thing I will add on this, in this transition period that he's talking about, when he made the transition off the VIP squad, this was primarily due to the fact that his in-laws were living in the United States and they believed them to be informants.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And that's why he had to exit. This was forcibly done.
Yeah.
And simply just because you have in-laws that decided to live in the United States, like that's how serious it was. He lost his job over it.
Yeah. Wow. That's incredible.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess moving forward, so now basically the country is in dire straits. People are starting to kind of turn on him. Between 98 and 2003, did it just continue to get worse and worse until
Yes.
America came?
Yes.
So
Very bad.
yeah. And what, for you personally, what transpired between 1998 and 2003? What happened with you?
Yeah, actually, I get like open market there. Like I used to like do they call it appliances.
Mm.
Yeah, I sell appliances like Samsung TVs.
But you're still technically on active duty.
on active
Yeah,
duty.
but you're doing moonlighting, doing other
yeah,
things.
3 dozen of eggs at my salary. It's still
Wow.
like, yeah.
Man. So I what was your?
And he knows about the situation. I didn't know anything.
He didn't do anything.
Yeah, at that time they started people I know they start stealing. They start crime at that time.
Yeah.
because they don't have enough.
Just
money.
despair.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I can only imagine that when the United States kicked off the Iraqi invasion, that was pretty welcomed by most.
Yes.
For you at that point, was there a build up to it? Did you guys anticipate it? Was there kind of a rumblings within the country between the population? Did you guys think that was going to happen? Were you expecting it? Did you talk about it?
Most of them they didn't know happen, but I used to have satellite, so I watch the news, everything.
Yeah.
Update. I know where they came. They came from. They start now reaching Kut, reaching Hajmir, reaching Baghdad. They enter Baghdad International Airport. I saw them
Yeah.
on the TV.
But I mean, even prior to that, did you, like, let's say late 2002? Because I mean, it's kind of mind blowing for me to sit here and be able to interview you, being on the other side. That from my perspective coming in, I would have considered you an enemy. Just being honest. Whereas you didn't really consider me that.
Most of the Iraqi people, they are more welcome.
Yeah.
Just to get them saved from this person.
Yeah. Have you? This is
Get
probably
them away from this person.
Yeah.
This person goes away.
It reminds me. I maybe you've seen it, maybe you haven't. It's going to lose you if you haven't. There's a space movie called Arrival. I don't know if you've seen that, where these aliens come down and there's 12 pods, and they're trying to communicate with human beings, and all of the humans assume that they're there to take them over and kill them and whatever, and they're not. And it takes forever for them to figure that out. That's kind of how I feel right now. Is it like, because from my perspective, we deployed in August of 2002 and built up, got ready in Guam and got all of our stuff ready. Went to Kuwait. Were there for about 2 months, and then ultimately drove into Iraq to Nasiriyah, to Baghdad, to Tikrit. Took Saddam's hometown palace in Tikrit down. My perspective of looking at all of that versus how you viewed it is just vastly different, and it's fascinating to me. And if you'd have told me back then that I'd be sitting here 20 years later, I'd have choked myself.
Yeah, actually, at the beginning when the Americans they took over Iraq, like they invaded Iraq, so that was at that time. Most of the people happy, but the situation is still the same.
Mm-hmm.
So they didn't do anything at the beginning.
Yeah.
After a while, they start then because they leave the situation as is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the people they start getting crazy about that. They start. Oh, they didn't do anything. Just they took Saddam. They took that one. They didn't build the country. They didn't give us water. Fixing everything. Look, everything is damaged. So they start realize, okay, the situation is going to be as is now. So they start doing something, fighting.
Yeah. I guess from kind of looking at the timeline that I had going into it, did you guys as a society think towards the end of 2002, early 03, before it happened, did you anticipate America coming and doing what they were going to do, or was it a total surprise?
No, total surprise.
Total surprise.
Yeah.
But
we hope at that time, like many
Yeah.
people, that just let them come.
Yeah.
Let's just get rid of this person.
Yeah. Did you guys know, I guess you being an active military service member, in January, February of 2003, did you know that there was a big American troop buildup in Kuwait?
Say it again, please.
So in, say, December of 2002,
December, okay.
January of 2003,
Mm-hmm.
February of 2003.
Yeah.
Did you know that there was a ton of military?
Yeah.
Okay. So that wasn't a surprise.
And he knows very well.
Yeah.
They know.
But you guys knew that too.
Yeah. You know, but he's like just like in the TV, like tell the army, Iraqi army, get out of the Kuwait, heading to Basra.
Yeah.
Just like they show us like couple vehicles, like just moved, but actually still there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So from the time that in March of 2003, how long did it take of us being there and doing what we did before you felt like the Iraqi population started to kind of turn on America as far as them not taking better care of the infrastructure and the people, to where now they weren't really so welcoming and they were pissed? Was it a few months? Was it a year, 6 months? Was it several years, or was it gradual?
Like I didn't get it exactly.
So when we first showed up, you guys were welcoming.
Yes.
How long before you weren't welcoming anymore? Did you realize America wasn't doing?
After like maybe a year and a half.
Oh, a year and a half. Wow.
Year and a half. Yeah. Start like until like you find al-qaeda, they start their other organization, like they came over there to fight al-Qawi. Many people they start there.
Yeah. So for you, kind of the same question. Once America came into Iraq, what was your direction at that point?
I was most welcome with them.
But I mean, did your bosses, did your superiors say do this, do that? Did they give you any direction?
No,
it was just
it was very friendly. No,
just a free for all.
Yeah.
And
actually, I joined the Iraqi Air Force. One of my friends they tell me, okay, they're gonna start build up Iraqi Air Force, new Iraqi Air Force. So I joined the Iraqi Air Force in 2000 and 2004 on the November.
Yeah. So from 2000.
So I work with the American already.
Yeah. So from March of 03 to November of 04, you were just kind of in limbo.
And nothing. Yeah.
Nothing. I'm assuming you weren't getting paid, even though it's 3 dozen eggs worth. But like.
Yeah, but start I pick up many things. Like I start people they stealing many banks.
Yeah.
So they have money. They start shopping TV. They start shopping everything.
Yeah.
So it's a good time to make money at that.
Yeah.
Time.
So you were doing okay then?
Yeah.
Really?
Okay. Yeah. At that time,
So
because
you were
many people they steal.
Yeah. So you were making more money in that.
A lot. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Capitalism, right?
Yeah, exactly.
America's good for
yeah.
everything.
That.
But interestingly, his wife and children, during all this time, for safety purposes, they moved to the United States. So he was without them several
2004.
years, unfortunately.
What
It was
year
a
did
hard
they
call to
They
make.
moved in 2004.
Oh, okay.
And young children, too, I'm thinking of mine, to just say goodbye.
What?
It's a tough one. And I even felt his emotion when we're writing that chapter of the book. He's hugging his kids. He's smelling their smell and knowing, like, I just need you to stay alive. I just need you to have a childhood, even if it means I'm not in it.
Yeah.
That is a really unthinkable one. You have children. I have children. We all have kids here. To say goodbye for the sake of your child's safety is a hard one. But, I mean, he's a good parent. And their time in the United States, we didn't have Google Translate then. His daughters are opening a dictionary and word for word copying their homework assignments, every word from a dictionary.
And they're crying at the same time.
They're crying. That's how they did it. And these women and his son too, I mean, they're top medical professionals. They're incredibly successful. They have made it. But this time that his family went through, I'm just, adding a little humanity to this story here, is, for his wife and children, it was tough. It was really tough.
How old were they when they came?
When they came here, the oldest one, she was like 17.
17.
Yeah,
so
the
in
oldest one,
2000.
17 and 15. My son was 11.
Imagine in high school, word for word,
okay.
translating from a
And,
dictionary.
The youngest one, like Rola, my daughter, was 4 years.
So they knew no English.
No English at all.
Did you know English at that
We
point?
learned English actually, but we didn't practice it. Like we know, like this is chair, table, window, those like words. Okay, but we can
Not
put
conversation.
them like conversation or put them together. They teach us, but we didn't practice it.
Sure.
So it's very hard to them. But
imagine.
thanks God, like they made it.
Where did they move first?
First they came to Michigan.
To Michigan.
Yeah, by her parents' house.
And how did that process take place? Like when you made the decision, you guys need to go to America. I mean, did you apply for visas and all that?
She,
or?
like her parents applied paper for my wife and my children in 2000.
Okay.
Before that situation. And it came after, they call it family reunion, something like that.
Mm.
Okay, so it came, all the papers came to Jordan actually in 2004. So they left
So did they have to travel to Jordan?
to Jordan, then from Jordan to to the United States.
And at that time, did the Iraqi government under Saddam not have checkpoints trying to keep people from
nothing. 2004 is nothing there.
Oh, okay, yeah. Why didn't you leave?
Actually, because I start work with the American actually, because I want to build up they said to build up your country with the new Iraqi Air Force. So I want to build up my country I'm a pilot. I love my country. I love my job. So they said, okay, we're going to build up new Iraqi Air Force. I joined.
How was that different? Was it way different now than before? Now that America was helping?
Yes, it's very helpful.
Yeah.
Very
Aircraft.
Yeah, C-130. I was like that one. So I joined the Iraqi Air Force again. They sent me training course to Jordan for 5 months. After that, to Little Rock Air Base for simulator. And
Little
flying.
Rock?
Yeah.
Really?
Rock, yeah.
Did your family come see you?
Yeah, my son come over
Yeah.
actually. But I tell Mr. Major Roger, like I tell him I have my wife there and kids. I didn't see him long time ago, since more than a year. So if you can give me like permission to visit them. So they do time for me. They give me 2 weeks to visit them.
Yeah.
So I visit them, but I stay for 3 months.
I never came back.
Then they start ask about me, like, so I went back to Iraq again.
Yeah. Did you get in trouble?
No,
not really.
American friendly.
No beatings when you got there?
No, nothing.
No Saddam style repercussions.
Then after that, start like threatening me. Like I don't think do you read that chapter or not? Yeah.
Well, I remember seeing I guess a vignette, a snippet of talking about death threats on your door.
Yeah,
Can you talk about that?
Yeah, actually that was in 2006. So they sent me, they call it threat letters, 2 times to leave the American.
And this is from al-qaeda?
From one of them from al-qaeda, the other one from al-jihad wa tawheed, they call it. And third one, death certificate from al-qaeda.
What, do you have them still?
My lawyer has it. Like,
Lawyer has it?
When I came here, apply for that one, I bring those copies, actually. I give it to my lawyers.
Is there any way to get an image of that we
That
could
would
put
be
into
Well,
YouTube?
yes.
Let's do it.
Yes.
Yeah?
I think, did I send it to you? No? I have
That would be really
I
cool to
have-
put into the YouTube
I have it. Yeah,
version.
I
Okay.
have it,
Yeah, if
yeah.
we could do that, that would be
Yeah.
awesome.
But the original one, my lawyer have it, the
Yeah.
main one.
So what did it say?
Don't help the American, otherwise kill you.
And is it written in a way where, like, are they swearing, or is it formal, or is it just handwritten, or
Just like, no, it's type it.
typed?
Type it.
Yeah.
So I didn't like this. I went actually first time to my Iraqi headquarters. I tell them that's what happened. They tell me we can't do anything for you. Then I went to America and they said also we can't do anything for you. Just take care about yourself. Second time the same. Also I went in. But after they sent me death certificate, they are serious.
Yeah.
So also I tell them, sorry, we can't do. You have like thousands like you.
Yeah.
You can't put like patrol or checkpoint you're gonna do for a house. Like 100,000 checkpoint.
Yeah. Was there any way for you to verify that it was actually from them and not somebody just fucking with you? Or
Then after that, they said from Al-Qaeda, the last one from Al-Qaeda.
I mean, because it doesn't just say from Al-Qaeda, right? Or like, how did you know? It was,
Love Al-Qaeda.
yeah, like
Yeah,
what,
that's one
or is
from...
it on letterhead? I mean, what? Like they don't have letterhead, do they? I mean, or do they? Fuck, I don't know.
Anyway, so I was like, I didn't take it like... I took it seriously, but
Yeah.
I don't scare, like, but I thought, okay, how do they know? I didn't take it like very, very seriously, but I still scaring from
Sure.
the situation. So until they send me a death certificate, no, I told this is like, there is no joke.
Yeah.
So I take it to my headquarters. They didn't do anything. And Americans, they tell me we can't do anything. Then after that, they attack my house.
Wow.
Yeah, but thanks God, I was at that time no power outages, like everything, like no power, nothing. So I was just across the street to get some ice from my neighbor. So to make a drink for me. So and his wife told me, "Oh, Mohammed, come inside with my husband. Let's drink together. Okay, I'm gonna do some dinner for you guys." No. She grabbed my hand and get me inside the house. I was by myself because my kids and my wife and kids in the United States. So not even, we just start drink like in 20 minutes, half hour, not even that time. I hear a ton of bullets to my house, just across the street. So I look for from the window. It was 2 cars from, they call it Ministry of Interior. For that one belong those, because to pick up a truck. They call it for police. So jump in my house, the tons of bullets like on my house shooting, and they jump again, and they left. But at that time I realized it's not better, those people. Those people is belong, they call it, not Al-Qaeda, sorry. Those people belong better organization, because it was, at that time, Ministry of Interior, it's run by better organization, which is belong the Iranian intelligence. Those they call it assassination. That one.
So the vehicles were marked.
Yeah.
As
white and blue. I think if you serve in Iraqi kind of police.
yeah. So like they stole those vehicles and
No, it's like
it's
from
like actual them.
actual. Yeah. So that mean those people is not Al-Qaeda. They put name of Al-Qaeda because they don't want to get involved.
Yeah.
Better organization doesn't get involved for killing.
Yeah. Wow.
So they put Qaeda, but actually it's not Al-Qaeda.
yeah.
So at that time, actually, better organization, it's belonged Iranian intelligence. So they start killing all the pilots, Sunni pilots, or Sunni high level was before, like high ranks, high position, even the doctors, or whatever they have, those people like professors, those Sunni especially.
From your perspective at that time in the country, was there a good understanding from where you were at that Iran was playing a big role in fighting Americans? And it seems like there was kind of a power struggle of remnants from Saddam's loyal, Ba'ath Party guys, Fedayeen guys, Uday and Qusay's crew of mobsters, if you will. Then al-Qaeda had a presence and became bigger and bigger, but then Iran had a big presence. Then you had, like in Baghdad in particular, I'm trying to think of the guy's name. It escapes my memory right now. There was a leader in part of Baghdad. I can't remember if I can think of his name. I'll bring it back up. But there were a lot of different factions that were all kind of fighting for power, but kind of universally united against America. Did you have that same understanding that all of that was going on at that time?
Between
that al-Qaeda was there, that Saddam's former guys were there, that Iran was there, and they were all kind of fighting against America?
Yeah, actually, because the main things in America did like a big mistake when they released the Iraqi army.
Mm-hmm.
They tell them, okay, retired everything. That. So in this situation, there's no army to protect the border or protect the cities or the country. So became those militia take over. And all those organizations like Badr or Da'wah, whatever those, they start build up themselves and start fighting American over there.
Yeah. Was it easy for you to identify just by...
No, it's very hard. You didn't know.
So you wouldn't know if it was Iranian or al-qaeda?
No.
Really?
Even checkpoint, when they start, okay, give me your ID. I don't know this belong who. Those al-qaeda, even they wearing like uniform, army uniform, but you didn't know maybe it's not right, real.
Yeah,
so I give him my ID, like, so I tell him, okay, I give him my ID. I have to give him my ID. Either 50% either killed or pass.
Yeah.
You never know.
That's kind of a bit of
like,
a dice roll.
It's gambling.
Yeah.
Gambling, yeah.
It's a pretty heavy gamble.
Yeah.
Well, I guess, I mean, like here in America.
So, but at one point, actually, I want to mention it, actually. My wife, Christian, so I used to drive her car. So she has a cross.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so.
She's got a fish on the trunk.
So it was small, like this size.
Yeah.
Again, another one is big. So because that at that time, the Christian, those innocent people, like they didn't have any problems.
Really?
So they let them go. Yeah.
That's surprising.
Yeah. Even Saddam even all like security around is like they cooking, they cleaning, like the houses, very close. Most all of them Christian.
Really?
Yeah.
He
loves them.
I would have never thought that.
So I make the cross, it's bigger.
Yeah.
So when it came to the checkpoint.
You're like, oh, you're fine.
Honk if
That's
you love
amazing.
Jesus bumpers.
They told me, okay, go.
Jesus take
the wheel.
Hold
Go.
on. So speaking of morning routine and really throughout the day, health and fitness and overall well-being is something that I focus on as I get older. I get more and more kind of in tune with what works and what doesn't. And I recently started working with Ketone IQ, which is hvmn.com. This product is a really, really good way to start the day, as well as basically just anytime you need a boost from an energy standpoint. You're getting ready to do something physically demanding, mentally demanding. Before I record, I take a shot. First thing in the morning I do before workouts to recover after workouts. I take it multiple times a day, and there's no sugar, it's vegan, there's no caffeine, there's no salt, gluten, no artificial flavors or sweeteners, and it works from a ketogenic standpoint, giving your brain and body the fuel that it needs to do tasking tasks. So, it's a phenomenal product, an amazing company. That's hvmn.com. And the code is MicDrop, all one word, all caps, for 20% off. I can't recommend this product enough for, again, getting going in the morning, pre-workout, post-workout. You're tired in the afternoon. It's a super healthy way to feed your brain and your body from that kind of glycogen replenishment standpoint that tends to crash a lot of people when they're using caffeine products or carb products, et cetera. So I love this stuff. I use it several times throughout the day. And I encourage you guys to check it out as well. It's hvmn.com, and that code is MicDrop for 20% off, all caps, all one word. Because I guess thinking of it from the United States, like here in Texas, if somebody is from California or Boston or the Midwest, within 10 seconds of talking with them, you'll know you're not from here. Like you can tell by the way they talk, the way they dress. I guess I'm curious, that wasn't really that prevalent there? Like you'd know this person's from Iran or not from Iraq. Like you wouldn't get that from them kind of right away. They were good at blending in.
You can like judge with that one.
Yeah.
Even like ID, give me ID.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
you just
even Iraqi, but even many Iraqi like belong Irans.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, even Iranian, they speak Iraqi fluent.
Oh, okay.
You know that. Yeah. You can tell. Even al-qaeda.
Yeah. So after the third death threat where they give you the death certificate, what did you do after that, after they still said, no, we're not going to help you?
I went to my house. I'm going to take care about myself now. So 2 days later, they start shooting. They shoot my house.
And what happened after that, I guess?
After that, I went to the house to take my passport, went to my dad's house. I tell him that's what happened. And I went to Iraqi headquarters. I tell them, we can't do anything. So and then I went to the American there. So my friend, he told me, so why are you staying here? He can afford Iraq, so you have just go. Your family there. That's person. Like he gave me that permission to stay couple weeks to visit my family. The same person.
Wow.
Yeah, he told me, look, the visa is still valid.
Yeah.
Go leave the country.
So you left?
I left.
How did you get out?
Oh, that's another story.
How much time do we have?
That's another story.
Yeah.
Actually, I left Baghdad. I want to get like GMC car. They call GMC. That one between Baghdad and Jordan with my friend. Both of us, and I'm heading to Jordan. From Jordan, I'm going to fly to United States. After Kilomio 16, like after Habbaniya, after Ramadi, actually 80 kilometers after Ramadi, they have an area, they call it K160. So before to get that one, but they said he put gas in Ramadi. Before Ramadi Khaldiya, they call it. He put Ramadi in gas. But they tell us, be careful. There is like Chevy Impala, like silver one. Those people, they stealing your money. They pull you over. They take the money from you. Just be careful. Okay. Before K160, okay, look behind. That's the car there. That's the car. The person tell us about it. It's Chevy, silver, and one person drive that one, but the other people, they hiding. So when they come to you, before like a beam, they jump, like, with the machine guns, they tell you, pull over. They take money, they take gold. Because, when you travel, we don't have like those credit card at that time. So you carry cash. You go there like you're wearing all your gold, whatever those. So you take it with you. You're not going to leave it home. I told the driver and my friend, is it that car the person said about it? Tell us about it. He said, yes, this one, silver, Chevy. So I tell him, okay, get more power. Hit the gas. And my friend, he tell him, no, pull over. Let them take some money. We put, at that time, what I did, I put some money top of them, my bag. So when he opened it, you see the money, he's going to take it and run away. But other money, and the gold is like, I hide it.
Did you have a fair bit saved up?
What do you mean?
Did you have a lot of money saved up?
No, I took with me about, was at that time maybe 6-7 grand.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. So I put like 1,200 at the top and let them take it before they kill me, or like, just because they are in a hurry, just want to give it a go. Yeah. Not going to check everything. I tell him, hit this gas. And my friend tell him, pull over. I go, no, you don't want to get into it. I'm hit the gas. And the person, he said, like this. Person, I mean, pull over.
Mm-hmm.
So hit the gas, that one. And then he start lose us, like, he start like, we're going fast. Yeah. You're getting lower, slower. So away. At K160, he pull over to take some gas. Boom. The car next to us, the same car.
Yeah.
That's so funny. So he get up from his car. He came to us. We are just like panic. What do you want? Now it's like almost city, like small village, like no city. He said, guys, how much speed are you driving? He tell the driver. I look for your rear tires doing like this.
He's trying to tell you your rear tire was fucked
like
up.
this. So I mean, we think pull over.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's funny. You guys are shitting your pants. Yes. Oh, that's awesome. Well, I mean, you're lucky the upper wheel didn't fall off.
Then after came in 160, I mentioned that in the book or not? Really?
We didn't tell that one.
Okay, so after,
You have a mic drop exclusive here. Yeah.
so after that, they do check after left K160 about 25 kilometers. We saw checkpoint. That's real. They stealing money. Checkpoints. Many cars they stop. They take money. Whatever those.
Like by gunpoint?
Yes,
Yeah.
checkpoint. So you can't do it. If you turn around, they follow you. That means you carry a lot of cash.
Did you have a gun on you?
No. They gun us. Like they have a machine gun, everything. So, okay, I tell them, okay, let's take the money. Let them take the money. That's 1,200 I put in the top. Around 1,200. I don't remember exactly, but I want 1,200. At this point, like not even 5 cars away from them, 2 helicopters, they came, American, like Black Hawk. They disappeared, those people.
Oh, wow.
The way, like, I mean, the roads open again.
Yeah.
But I stuck on the border, that one.
Yeah.
It's
That's
16 hours. Yeah.
That one.
That's a 16-hour drive.
No, he was stuck at the border 16 hours
They
after
found
this.
my luggage in my bag. They found my. I used to train. I get training course in Jordan.
Yeah.
The primary training course in Jordan. So they give me idea Jordan Air Force.
Yeah.
So I keep it, that one. And they find another ID. Those Jordanian border.
Yeah.
They find my passport read Iraqi Airways. Then I have ID from Jordan Air Force. I have
Too many
another
IDs.
IDs. I have another IDs from Iraqi Air Force. Another ID from DOD, Department of Defense, United States.
So
They
they're
came
looking at
here.
you
Who
like,
is
who the
this
fuck
guy?
is this?
Yeah, and they tell us who you are.
Yeah.
Come inside.
Next Jason Bourne right
Yeah,
here.
from room to room. They escort me until I stuck there. So they don't release me. Tell me who you are. And then I make phone call to my father friend. He was like a Jordanian Air Force leader, and his dad, his brother, he was he controlled the security in the whole country on Jordan.
Oh, okay.
So I call him. I tell him that's what happened to me. Then give me one of them. So he talked to him. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So immediately, after I hang up the phone, immediately the situation 180 degrees different.
Yeah.
Yeah. Start now. They call me sir. Yeah. Yeah. Where's your stuff? So,
Yeah.
But they steal many CDs. Like I have many pictures of
Oh, really?
training course in the United States. I have a lot. So I don't know why. They make copy and they left it there. Anyway, so the tone is completely different now. So I left the border direct to Amman. The same time, like I tell the driver, okay, would you please go to the whatever those offices for flying, Alia Airlines. Tell me, okay, I went there. They told me what we have today to Michigan tonight. You wanna? I have a seat for you. Tell me, okay, go ahead, please. So I take a flight ticket from them. Then he dropped me to the airport early, about 12 hours before takeoff. So just I want to stay there. I want to stay in the safe area.
Yeah.
Until I came here.
Yeah.
And that was in 2006.
What I would love to get your description of what it was like landing in Michigan and reuniting with your family.
Actually, 3 times I came. I came for one time in 2005, in July 2005 for visit. That one official visit. That one from United. U.S. Air Force.
But I mean, once you actually moved here and you knew you were staying, what was that like?
It's a new country, new culture, new different everything. But it's still like, we watching movies and nothing
Relief?
it's nothing like big change. I'm different. Like I'm travel a lot.
Yeah.
So I saw many countries, many what they call it, cultures.
Sure.
Yeah.
Was it? Obviously,
But at the beginning, it's kind of struggling hard, but it's not hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What financially, was your wife working here, or how?
Yes, she used to work alteration in one of the alterations center. They call it laundry or alteration, that one. Then after that, she worked at Northrum, also alteration. My kids, my son Rami, he was like 11 years old, 12 years old. He was working with one of my wife's parents' cousin, like he has a gas station. He worked just a couple hours like there, cleaning, like, stocking stuff. They give him like a little bit,
Were there any benefits from the U.S. government for you guys?
No,
Nothing?
because they came here as they call it family reunion, that one. So we didn't have any benefits at that time. I have to send them money.
Yeah.
I have from like every month, every 2 months, whatever I get, I send them some money.
What was the first thing that you did job-wise once you moved here?
First thing, my brother-in-law, he told me like he worked at the hotels. They do renovations at the hotel. He told me, I think, I said, okay, go ahead. I start with there.
Could you be a pilot here?
I apply for that one. I apply to be a pilot. But the problem, I don't have green card. I just have work authority.
Really?
Yeah, at that time. And I don't have even citizen. So after that, they give me actually, I apply to be a pilot. I apply my paper to FAA, everything perfect. Okay, they give me the license. Then if I find out it's misspelling with my last name. Instead of Sulaiman, they write it Salman. So that I'm indifferent. So they take it away from me.
Wow.
Yeah, so after I correct it, 5 years take me to correct it. Then I apply again. Oh, just work authority should be like a green card. Because we have like Mexico and Canada, that's mean domestic flights. So at least we have a green card. I don't have that one at the time. Until I get a green card, I start to do it again. Now, my new passport, they send it to me from Iraq. Actually, I fixed, because my old passport, Mohammed Sulaiman, the last name. Now, there's a big problem. Most of the Iraqi happened to them. Because here in the United States, the last name is like whatever, like last name. But we don't use it last name, actually. Use my last name, it's my grandpa. So Sulaiman is my grandpa. But originally my last name is Arawi. So the new one, they put Arawi.
Man.
So the old one, which is I get a visa here when I came here, Sulaiman. So when I apply again, they do background check and TSA, they call it. They told this is different one. Again. It takes me 5 years to correct my last name.
And I think the road to citizenship was what, 19 years? Before you got citizenship was 19 years?
No, yes, but
full citizen?
No,
passport?
I have a year and a half to get the American citizenship.
Still a year and a half to go, and it'll be what, 20 years?
Yeah.
Wow.
20, yeah.
Well,
I get my green card about 3.5 years ago.
But at this point, age-wise, they won't hire you at a certain age, right, to be a pilot?
But you can, I think, up to 67.
Okay.
You can retire. But start work after that, I start work with the U.S. Army.
Really?
Yeah, I work as a advisor, like cultural advisor or training, those like Mobias and other companies, Threat Tech.
That's a better fit for you anyway, probably, right?
Yes, so I go all over the countries, from different states.
Yeah.
I stay even more money, more benefits, more respect. It's my field, it's different.
Yeah.
I love it.
A bigger impact too.
Yes, exactly.
Your family is still over in Iraq.
My father. And I have a brother there and 3 sisters.
How difficult was it? Seeing, because you came over here in 2006?
2006, yeah.
Seeing the rise of ISIS, especially in Mosul, were there a lot of close calls with your father and other family members when ISIS was kind of moving through and doing all the things that they
My
do?
father is actually in Baghdad. They live in Baghdad.
Okay.
But in Mosul, I have cousin in Mosul get killed.
Yeah.
One of them 18 years old.
Wow.
Because he wearing a T-shirt, they write USA, but he pay attention for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They killed him for
Killed
him.
him, yeah.
Wow.
He was 18 years old.
Jeez.
Yeah. He's in first college in medical college.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
Any close calls with your father?
Yeah, like every other day, every 3 days. I
Really?
call him, yeah.
I mean, were there any? I'm sorry.
I mean, I call. I mean, phone call?
Were there any dangerous situations?
No. I thought like make calls.
Yeah.
Sorry.
There's the language thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he wasn't super worried. You weren't worried when ISIS was rolling through and doing what they were doing. Were you worried about him?
My father is old now. Is
Yeah.
like 85, 86. So, but many times when he said something gonna happen, something gonna do this and this, something gonna happen, this and this, exactly it happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You still talk to him often?
Yes.
Yeah. Is his health okay?
Yeah, he's sick, but still like it's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, every other day I call him, every 3 days.
Yeah. Wow. And sounds like your kids moved here, learned English, and now they're just crushing it, right?
Yeah.
Tell me about your kids.
Yeah, my kids, when they, as Lauren said, like it's very hard to them at that time. We don't have Google at that time, so they have used dictionary, but they made it.
Yeah.
I have my oldest daughter, she get PA. Actually, first time she get, they got medical lab, something about lab. Then she don't like it, she will finish PA.
Yeah.
And second daughter, she got a doctor degree, like she got PhD degree in infection disease. And she's living in Indiana now with her husband. He's American.
Wow.
Yeah, and my son, he finished electric engineering 2 years ago in New York with the BAE system, British Aerospace Engineering System.
Wow.
Yeah, he built the tanks. Like he loves, even he got a driver license for tanks because he'd go for test, whatever, like that one.
Yeah.
He loves his job. And my youngest daughter get... that one, the youngest one, she's American completely because she came here 4 years. So very fast pick up all the language and that one. So she get something with the medical health, but she doesn't like it. So she have 2 more years to finish her law school.
Yeah. Does she live, where does she live?
With her mom, like in West Bloomfield.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's going to finish her law school.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So what's next for you? Just continuing doing what you're doing?
Exactly. Next, I'm going to try to fix a name again. Yeah, to get my license back again.
Yeah. I can imagine.
Especially after this book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, now it's on the book, so it's got to be right.
And all these come.
Yeah.
Lauren.
Yeah.
Because Lauren.
and speaking of which, from your perspective of what we've covered thus far, does anything stand out as, from your, because you've had countless conversations with him, and I want to be respectful of the book, but also, you have a very unique and a singular perspective in terms of growing up here, interviewing him, getting to know him, having written the book and now hearing the interview. What is your take on it and kind of your thoughts on the entire process of interviewing him and if we've left anything out that we're talking about?
So I would say that, just to sit here and see this conversation take place is so unique, because, and this is what drew me originally to the story, is to see this different perspective, see a peek behind the curtain. And he individually, as a man, this is so remarkable to get to know him too, because he is one of the most confident people I have ever had the pleasure of working with. Nothing, even as I'm asking him stories, what are you thinking, feeling? He's gone through so much, but he has a mindset about life which is just one step forward. Keep it going. He sees the sense of humor in everything. He sees life in a certain way that I think is quite refreshing. I think it's always a matter of perspective. You can get up close and we see our own country and this is happening and this is happening, and it's easy to feel like, negative. This guy sees the positive in just about everything. Yeah. More than anything, just to see the humanity of the story from a different side. We see the American men and women that served there, but to know of the families and what they were going through, it's really tough trying to raise kids during that time, trying to provide well for your family during that time. I mean, it's a situation that we don't often see. And so from that perspective, it's been definitely one of my favorites to write. To be near his mindset about life is really remarkable. And then to see this take place, I mean, you have your perspective of these events, he has his perspective. So just to listen to this conversation, this is my whole design and desire behind getting this book out there, is so that the American people, maybe they won't have the luxury you and I do to actually sit on the couch with him, but maybe in some way as they go through the pages and they read it, they're going to feel that same sense, which is, I get to be up close, I get to see this in a personal way, and have their own conversation and get that other side perspective. I think it's valuable.
Yeah.
Really valuable.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, again, for me if you'd have told me I'd be sitting here, now, there's no way I would have believed you, and it's just, for me, it's such an honor to be able to have you here and get to interview you and read your book, and I just can't thank you enough. Did we leave anything out that's from the book that
I mean, there's always great stories, but I think maybe the reader, that can be part of the fun to go back through if you want to hear about monkeys making over the intercom and parrots flying a whole team of parrots so that you can't use your intercom system because they're repeating everything you say. And there's a drunk man having a fight with a parrot. That one is still left
Fight
in
with the
there.
monkey,
There's a fight with the monkey. That for sure is an interesting one. Of course, right after the invasion happened with Kuwait, there's some amazing details he has about actually landing in the airspace after all the looting took place. That's for the reader.
Yeah.
That's for the reader to flying into a sandstorm. We didn't get to that one. What it's like to fly headlong into a sandstorm under death threat with Saddam's brother. Yeah. So there's some good ones, some juicy ones left, but I'm sure for time's sake we can let the reader buy the book.
Yeah. Well, I guess one thing on his family. Did you ever meet his sons?
Who?
Uday and Kusei?
Yeah, a lot.
A lot.
Yeah, a lot.
He has one of his
him,
friends' tongues cut off.
Could you share that story? Just because one thing from an American military standpoint, his sons were a big part of our campaign there. Our kind of mission set to find them was a big part of being there, and especially at that time, it was kind of the height of when things were the roughest for our troops there. So if you could, before we kind of close it out, if you could share the story with his sons, that'd be great.
Uday, he's like it's not normal person. Like he's like very hard to deal with him. He's hot temper, crazy. I don't know. Like it's very like limit. With them, you have to take care about yourself when you fly. But actually, I took him flying like from Baghdad to Tikrit to Mosul, whatever. He get inside the aircraft, but he's normal, I didn't go with him like deep, nothing like that one.
But he cut some.
Your friends?
Yeah, this from my friends. Like his name Ali. He's live now in UK. He live in UK. He's best friend for the day. That girls or parties, drinking together, like. So I don't know, somehow he talked something about Uday, like not bad, but it's kind of bad. So he ordered his security, get him here, cut his tongue.
Cut it off.
Cut it, yeah. So he took it with the pliers. He said to my friend Ali, even they showed it to me, like with the pliers, take it out, they cut first part.
Wow.
Yeah. Even have interview with him like in the TV, and he showed it to the TV, like his tongue is cut. Yeah.
I mean, I remember knowing some of the guys that were involved in the operation that ultimately ended up killing both of his sons. What they found afterwards was very indicative of kind of their lifestyle. It was Viagra and porn and Johnny Walker Blue Label. They had nothing but like extravagant party everything, and everything that we kind of heard and got from leading up until that mission, and then ultimately afterwards, was that they were just absolute bastards. Like his two sons were worse than he was, because they were entitled, spoiled, privileged shitheads that grew up as Saddam's sons and just did whatever they want, and they were miserable wretches. But fascinating stuff. I mean, there's a million stories, and I know all of them are good. again, I know I've said it, but I just can't thank you enough for working with Lauren, for you doing such a masterful job writing the book, as you always do. And you guys just putting the time into it, because it is really, really important, and it's very valuable for our society to see, the perspective of what you guys went through when we were there. I mean, I've had a ton of guests on that are guys like me that, grew up here, that went there and fought there and have, tons of incredible, remarkable stories, some of them heartbreaking, some of them, funny, some of them, depressing. I mean, you name it, but to be able to get your side of what happened and that perspective from, an Iraqi-born military member, especially a pilot that was integrated into Saddam, is really, really special. Anything that you want to add to it?
I don't think so. I think we did a pretty good job. I mean, the rest of the stories are covered here, and I would say the only final thing, it also was interesting perspective to see what immigrants in our country are also facing, the journey that they're going through to learn the language. What his family did, I think, is a prime example of what can happen when you take opportunity and you kick down the door. Like, there was an open door, but I mean, they really kicked down the damn door on success there. And as a mother, I'm looking at my own kids, I'm thinking, they're struggling, they're having trouble, but oh gosh, like the fortitude, the strength of mind that some of these families have to completely start over, to learn a new language, and for their children to do the same is really incredible. So I think that's part of the book that is also a wonderful message for anyone that comes from a different place here, is with the opportunity our country really does provide, but families like his who take the opportunity and just, do incredible things with it. That's the difference right there. Yeah. And so it's very inspiring. To me, the end of that story is one that, also pulls the curtain back on a different side of what families like his have been through, and a wonderful example of what can be. Yeah,
and I hope that it adds and offers some rounding of perspective for people here. I hope that it does. The last question I want to ask is that what emotions did you feel when you saw him get captured and pulled out of that hole, looking the way that he did, and then ultimately being hanged for I guess you'd call his crimes? I mean, what was your?
Yeah, actually, I feel shame about him, because like when you put the country in this situation and look at his kids, Ray and Qusay, they fight until they die. They catch him like a god. Yeah. Like they pull him from the from a hole from the ground. At least if he is like a good leader or a president,
he should have fought.
He should kill himself.
Yeah. Or at least fight.
Or don't put the country in this situation. Yeah. They pull you from the hole like a god.
Yeah. Were you? What was your emotion when you saw him put to death? Were you relieved, happy, sad?
To hell.
To hell. Yeah. so you weren't
that
losing
emotion.
any
The to hell emotion.
Yeah, to hell.
To hell emotion.
Because
so you were glad that he
kill many peoples.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you were you were glad to see him die.
But it should be don't kill him like this way. Yeah, but leave him until just little by little until die.
Yeah. Well, again, fascinating story for the listeners. This book, Flying the Tyrant, please go buy it. There's a ton of stories that we didn't get into. It supports both of these amazing people sitting here, and I can promise you that you won't be disappointed or let down in reading it. It's incredible. I can't thank you guys enough for coming and sharing, especially being able to be the first interview. Is just a huge honor for me. So. Thank you. And is there anything else that you guys want to add or let people know? They can get this on Amazon.
You can get it on Amazon. Instagram, there's Flying the Tyrant on Instagram. That's just going to give some updates about books and interviews that Mr. Sulaiman may be doing. That's his primary Instagram. And mine, Lauren Ungeldi. I'll have more books coming out, one coming out here in the next little bit that could be also interesting. Not the same topics, but similar, a little more focused on Afghanistan and what women are doing there. So, stay in touch.
We'll have all the links for
Yeah.
your guys' contact, as well as where to get the book in the description and all that. But thank you again for coming. I really
Thank you.
appreciate
Thank you.
it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Great
Thank you,
stuff.
Travis. Thank you.
Phenomenal book, phenomenal people, and thank you for supporting the show. Again, without your guys' support, show after show, we wouldn't be able to bring you amazing guests like this. So again, go get the book. If you don't, choke yourself. And until next time, this is Mic Drop.